Hi everyone. Well, it wouldn't be Nature Check if there weren't some technical difficulties, so my microphone definitely was not on for the first part of the stream, so I'm gonna redo the opening announcements. Sorry about that. This is episode number 40, which is really super exciting. We've been playing this game for 40 episodes. It's amazing. Hi, I'm Sheryl, and my pronouns are she, her, and I'm the Dungeon Master for the Arda Campaign. I'm also a PhD student studying ecology at the University of Illinois at Chicago, and when I'm not doing my research, I'm also a science communicator and the host of the Roving Naturalist on YouTube. Next, we've got Peter.
Hey everybody, my name is Peter. I am a agricultural scientist studying high tunnels in North Carolina. I play Cedric, the dwarven cleric on this show. I both of our pronouns are he, him. Is that everything? What's it? What else? What did I forget?
That's
Okay,
great.
great.
I love that you did all of that with your eyes closed.
Yeah, it helps
It's the
you
Mind
me
Palace.
think. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Mind Palace, the dusty bin where I keep all of the all of this information about who I am and what my job is.
Next, there's Cindy.
Hi, I'm Cindy, she, her. I'm a science enthusiast and play an enduring engineer over on Heroes of Awesome Constellation on the Weirdlings Twitch and YouTube channels. Here, I'm playing Nautia, the water method druid.
And then there's Ryan.
Hello, I'm Ryan. I'm an entomologist. Means I study insects. Currently, I work as an entomologist doing plant healthcare in medical marijuana in Pennsylvania. And when I'm not at work, I like to obsess about native plants in Southwest Pennsylvania and all their interactions and their systems and the insects that interact with them and everything. And do tons of landscaping where I now have over 100 native species in my yard. And on Arda, I play Fletcher, the human wizard, and we both use he, him pronouns.
Mm-hmm.
If you're watching us live right now, thanks for being here. And as always, if you have any questions for the cast, make sure to put them in the chat so we can respond. And of course, be sure to check out the reference section below for the social media handles for the entire Nature Check cast. And you can come hang out with us on our Discord, which is linked also down in the description. You know, all the links, they're always down there. Don't forget, if you're not able to watch us live or you want to share us with your friends, you can, as always, find the sessions for our TTRPG games in video form on our YouTube channel and in podcast form everywhere. Okay, now let's get back to where we were in the story. After leaving the desert temple with a few answers and many more questions, you traveled with two young scorpion folk scouts back to their camp. The scouts informed you that the only weird thing worth remarking upon that they've seen in the last few months was a figure or two entering the dangerous maze-like area known as the Stone Teeth. You shopped for supplies in the Scorpion Folk camp and then rested for the evening. In the morning, Cedric informed you that most of you are now officially friends according to dwarven tradition, so you talked with each other as you rose and began traveling west. It is now early evening on Pelorum, the 7th day of Brightrun, and you are standing, frustrated and a bit tired, just inside the place where you entered the Stone Teeth. This maze, carved by strong winds and eroding sand, is going to be difficult for you to navigate. So, how would you like to begin?
Well, are we actually beginning or are we just continuing to try?
Picking up where we left off.
So I think you did not succeed on your very first round, so you're still sort of back at the beginning where you were starting. And just to remind everybody what we're doing, this is an extended skills challenge, so there are 5 steps, and in each step you have to get 5 successes before 2 failures. We are doing this in like a combat order, so Cedric, you are up first, and you can pick any skill, ability, or like a spell to use in order to try to help your group navigate through the maze. So you can pick whichever one of those you'd like, but then you cannot use the same thing that you used in the turn immediately prior, and you can also not use anything that the 2 people immediately before you used to navigate.
So I think I used my search check to like check out the stone to see if there was anything useful about that. So I think since that didn't turn up anything, not really. There are a lot of wind-worn canyons in the caves where I grew up. I am going to, but occasionally there's pressure temperature differentials, and you can really pick up on like subtle cues in the caves about where openings are based on listening to the wind. So I think I'm going to try and listen to which way the winds are moving through this kind of canyon, since it's super, super windy. That shouldn't be too far outside of the realm of possibility.
Okay. This sounds
so
like,
I guess
it sounds like perception. Is that?
Yeah, that was what I was going to say. Yeah,
Okay.
since we've combined perception or listen into perception.
Yep. That sounds right to me. Super.
Ooh, that's a 15 plus 7, 22.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a success. Wow. Okay. Mm-hmm. Awesome. Okay, yeah, so that's, this is the...
Kind of hoping it would be a 1, and it was just like, Cedric is suddenly struck deaf.
Sand has filled your ears.
All right. So there is 1 success on this new first step. All right. So that would be Kay going next, but Nancy is not with us for the moment, so let me see what she is good at, and see what she might try to do.
Roguish things.
Roguish things. I don't even know, man. She's good at like talking to people and stuff. Wow, yeah. I don't know. No wonder you guys were having trouble. Let's see. Oh yeah, let's be fun. Okay, so she is going to attempt to be, her Dexy self, which, sometimes Kay is more Dexy versus less Dexy, and use Tumble to try to sort of basically make her way through, how like in slot canyons there are lots of sort of like narrow openings or very like low places you sort of have to like squeeze through. So she's going to use Tumble to try to see if there's maybe a less obvious path that might bring you in the right direction. Whoops, that went, it bounced on the table and then back into my dice box. All right, that is an 8 plus 3, which is an 11. It's not a terrible failure, but it does not meet the success threshold. So she tries a few times and sort of finds a bunch of dead ends, but nothing super useful for you all. So that's 1 success and 1 failure. And as a reminder, each step requires 5 successes before 2 failures, because this is a tough place. So now it is Nautia's turn.
Okay. Man, I had plans for this and I've forgotten all of them.
Oh no.
I can try knowledge nature, right? Because that's not within the last 2. Yeah, so let's do that.
Yes.
Hello. Sorry.
Hey, we got a Nancy.
I didn't realize we were playing today.
No,
so I'm in my pajamas and lipstick, but we did it.
I am so sorry that I did not check with you. I'm so sorry.
It's just been crazy. They lost my folder at the visa office, so all day Wednesday I went and talked to them. I got my visa. They were like, "Oh, it was our fault. Just print everything out." So I printed 200 pages out the local cyber cafe. And then I'm probably moving, so I met with a place for an apartment on Friday, and then I had to give him all my documents and stuff today. It's just been crazy, and I think it was my fault. Anyway, hi, I'm here. I haven't washed my hair in 3 days, and I'm in my pajamas. But you know what? I got lipstick on, so we're gonna do this.
It's okay. My microphone wasn't on at the beginning of the stream, so we're just having a day. It's fine. Number 40.
It's fine. It's all fine.
It wouldn't be.
Right, it wouldn't be nature check.
Issues.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I like how just pajamas and lipstick still means Nancy still looks fantastic.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
I got
fantastic.
Mickey Mouse. I got
Yes,
But that's
the
still
Minnie
like-
Mouse sweater.
My pajamas are like Christmas themed. Like, they're not that cute.
I have dragonfly themed pajamas. Anyway, hi Nancy. It was just Kay's turn in the skill check, and I had her use tumble to try to get through some narrow slot canyons to look for a way.
Oh right, we're doing
through.
that stuff. Guess I still haven't made my character
That's
sheet
okay.
yet.
It's on roll 20, so that's how I was looking at it.
Perfect.
But you did not succeed in that try for.
Can I roll again?
We'll let you try something on the next round.
Okay, I tried tumble.
But yeah, it is Nadia's turn. Yeah, so you tried tumble this turn, so you can't use that next time around.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Nadia, did you remember what you were gonna do?
Yeah, knowledge nature.
Oh, hey.
The natural 20 plus
Ooh.
4, 24.
Amazing! And because it's a natural
This die
20...
is cursed and he gave me a 20. Okay.
Because it's a natural 20, I'm actually going to give you 2 successes because that's fancy, and I like it. Yeah, okay. So that now you're at 3 successes and 1 failure, and it is Fletcher's turn. This is going better.
What happened with her knowledge?
Oh yeah,
nature?
what were you knowledge naturing to get your way through? I forgot to ask for the narration.
I don't really know. Just kind of looking around and seeing if she's very good at sort of getting the lay of the land, just in general, and especially with all the wind blowing around, it would be a little bit similar to what Cedric just did, but just sort of. Oh no, I remember what I was going to do. Looking around for sort of other wildlife and looking for patterns that suggest that like maybe this is a trail.
Mm-hmm.
And that sort of thing.
Cool. Yeah, love that. Awesome. Sarah says, "You go, Nancy." Okay, yeah, awesome. So that was knowledge nature, and Fletcher, what would you like to do?
I think I'm gonna try detect magic to see if there's any kind of this seems like a very special place, like that there be something, like maybe there's some kind of magical natural ley line or something that would kind of lead us through, or maybe hooded figures seen going in here that kind of if they had cast anything or left traces of something that would suggest how they moved through here. I want to see if I can pick up on that.
Okay.
Gonna end up in the town of Nightvale.
Yeah. So for this, like I said, you're gonna roll a knowledge arcana check to see just sort of how powerful and successful your detect magic works.
God, I hope I don't fail. Oh, hit me. 12.
You try, but you don't really pick up any sort of like you said, there's no ley line feeling here. You don't sense any sort of residual magic from a spell that might have been cast here or anything like that. It seems as if, even though this place is strange, it seems as though it was just sort of naturally formed over the eons by the forces of erosion, as powerful as they are. Oh no, that was 2 failures. I'm gonna make I feel like I over or underestimated how difficult this was going to be, so I'm actually gonna make it 5 successes before 3 failures because we don't need to sit here and fail all night long.
Cheryl, you're breaking the number 1 rule of DMing. When you're gonna fudge the rolls, you don't tell the players.
Well, but you all just heard me say you already had 1 failure, so I feel like that wasn't a moment where I could just sort of let it go unnoticed.
We're not gonna count. I'm not counting.
We knew the rule was 2 failures.
Yeah,
some of us can count.
I wouldn't have noticed.
I can't.
Besides, okay, I don't know if anybody else is or if any of our listeners are, but I'm definitely that podcast listener that's like, you didn't do that right. I listened and 5 minutes ago you said such and such, so.
No,
nobody needs to yell at me. I know what I'm doing.
I also have to write everything down or I forget it, so I've literally got it right in front of me.
Here you go. Yeah,
Just
I have
forget it.
a teeny tiny sticky note where I'm keeping track of your tally marks.
At only 2 failures, this would just end up as another canyon.
Yeah.
We would just never
I do have story planned beyond the stone teeth, so we'd like to get you out of here eventually, you know.
No, we just die here.
Oh!
I told you they're the teeth of doom, or
Thus
the
ends
jaws
the
of
Arda
death.
Campaign. Good thing I had a sequel planned already. Anyway, all right, so we're back to the top of the order. Cedric, so you cannot use knowledge, nature, detect magic, or perception. I can keep track of what people used.
So Sheryl, it counts as he can't do the same spell, but he could do a knowledge arcana.
Yeah, he could do
So
another...
So it takes, it's the spell that counts when you use a spell and not the, corresponding check.
Yeah, well, but also because he's a divine caster, he would be using knowledge religion instead of knowledge arcana.
Religion, okay, cool.
That's a nice place to hold your pen while you're thinking.
Thank you. I was trying to think, there's no way that I could... I don't think even my level of ability to come up with more than bullshit is going to provide me with an excuse to use divine knowledge to get through this slot canyon. At least right now. So I think once Nautia was looking for the tracks of animals to see if that would lead anywhere. And she succeeded on doing that. So I think Cedric was paying attention to what Nautia was doing, and is now just gonna keep looking for those same markings that Nautia found, the same tracks in the ground.
Okay. But you're tracking, so you'd like to use survival?
Sure.
Yeah, because you can't use knowledge nature because she just did that. So
yeah, I was thinking more like search, but survival works too.
Yeah, search can also be done. That's fine.
Well, now I want to use survival instead.
Whichever. They both feel like they apply here.
That's a 19.
Okay, yeah, that's another success. So Cedric sort of follows Nadia's lead and begins investigating animal tracks. And this is something that had been tried a little bit last time too. But again, you all are still very new to the desert. And so it takes you a little bit of time to sort of understand what patterns, if anybody has been to an exceptionally sandy place before, animal footprints, but also just the way rocks or large chunks of sand tumble across the sand can look very similar. So yeah, it takes you a minute to sort of figure out how animal trails and animal tracks work in this environment, but you're starting to get a handle on it and feel like you're making some progress. Yeah. And that brings us back to Kay. All right, so you cannot use search, detect. Well, you can't use detect magic because you don't cast. You can't use tumble.
Okay, I can't use search.
No, because Cedric just did. Or did you use survival? Was that survival?
That was survival, actually. Yeah.
Okay, I was gonna do search.
Okay, then you can do search. JK.
I will search. I will notice that they are noticing little tracks in the sand, and will also attempt to search and notice little tracks in the sand.
Sure. Yeah.
Cedric starts once he sees them, then he starts pointing them at Kay. So you understand. So in the sandier soils,
oh my God,
the insects I've noticed they leave these kind of little double tap tracks, which I've never seen before in more temperate climes. The sandy soil really shows them well.
We only have cockroaches in New Chester.
I've noticed that.
They don't leave tracks in buildings usually, so
just tiny slippers.
At least I haven't encountered any bed bugs yet there.
Wow, sure you got lucky.
Man.
Wow, usually Kay's the
24.
one defending it.
I know, she's grouchy. 24. That is your first success. Yay!
Yay!
All right, we made it past step number 1. Woo!
Leon keeps a clean place.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, Leon's excellent. I mean, that's why I work
does.
with him, because, there's no bed bugs and there's no cockroaches. It's no small feat.
He's very fastidious. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, single guy ons the shop. What does he do all day except clean?
He makes his own homemade ant trap. It has some sort of sandpapery acid mixed with some honey or something, and apparently it just sandpapers out the bugs' insides, and that's why he doesn't have any bug problems.
I wonder if that if he makes that in the kitchen, it might explain the fish.
That is true.
Was that a diatomaceous earth reference there, Nancy? Nice.
And or boric acid.
Yeah.
My dad actually makes his own ant bait with boric acid and honey.
I've done that before. It works amazing.
Yeah, it works amazing because they take it back and it like literally sandpapers away their insides.
Because the midgut is not sclerotized, right?
It's
not
true.
It's not protected and hardened like the fore and hindgut either.
Indeed.
I know some bug things.
Yeah. But you don't know if our scorpion people breathe through spiracles?
You know what? I just step number 2. It's Nadia's turn.
Has anything sort of changed about basically where we are? Like, are we further in now, or are we just?
You're absolutely. You have made some progress. You are now no longer standing sort of at that entryway where you started and where Cedric had fallen off that like 30-foot rock pillar, almost to his detriment or whatever, and Fletcher saved him. So yeah, you can look behind you now, and you just see more rock maze. You cannot see sort of the open desert that you came from, and you sort of. Well, I mean, I guess this is something you can continue to try to do with your skill checks if you so desire. You feel like you're heading more or less west, but that might be something you'd like to keep an eye on through your skill checks as you move through the maze.
Yeah, I'm trying to decide if I want to try anything different than sort of the set we've been doing, but I think I'm just gonna go ahead and do a perception check.
Okay. What are you trying to perceive this time?
Stuff.
I mean, just sort of looking ahead, because at this point we're trying to, like, we're in it, we're trying to navigate, like, continue, like you said, continuing to go the right direction. So sort of making sure that I, you know, from whatever angle we can see sunlight, make sure that's sort of coming from the right way, and then just looking for sort of more of what we have seen on the path that did work, I guess.
Yeah, totally.
That's only a 10.
A 10 total?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, unfortunately, like, you're just... A lot of the stone is very high, and you sort of, like, you are like, oh man, a lot of these pillars and walls of stone are really high. I'm having trouble sort of getting a good bead on the angle of the sun, and you try to fly up a little ways, and the wind just sort of, like, buffets you back down, and you get really frustrated. Yeah.
No.
Yep. Okay, that's one failure, and that brings us back around to Fletcher.
Let me see if it does. Okay, does this make sense? Yeah. If there's all the like small spaces that you could fit through to continue like through the canyon. If I see one that I'm like, oh, like we could continue this way, but it might be like hard for anyone like larger than like Nautia and Kay to get through. Can I try casting grease on it so that we can like slip through it more easily to continue onward?
That is a great idea for the future, but since you just cast a spell and used Knowledge Arcana last time, I would suggest
it'll
you
count
try
as
something.
Arcana again.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do like that idea for a future step.
So for other people, for other people, it's they can't cast the same spell, but then for me, it's because it's the same skill.
No, it's because the other two casters in the group are divine casters.
They'll be using a different.
Right.
Okay,
so if Nautia
okay.
used
That
a
makes
spell,
sense.
it would be knowledge, religion, or whatever.
So
hers is
between the
also
two of
knowledge,
them, they
nature,
wouldn't be able.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Well, like I don't know. I guess you all three are technically okay. To get very specific, Nautia and Cedric are both divine casters, but because Nadia's magic comes from nature, I would say hers are like knowledge nature checks, and Cedric's are knowledge religion checks, and yours are knowledge arcana checks. So that's, yes. Okay. All three of you could cast a spell in a row because you're using different skills, but yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Sorry.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Let's see. So search and perception have been done. So I would like to do... Can I get... a knowledge nature check.
That hasn't been done in a minute. What are you looking for this time?
Seems like the only lead we've really gotten has been other things like living in here and able to move through. So now that like people have seen where they're going, like anything more we can glean about, like not even just where they're moving, but like movements and where they're like living. So like presumably they might live in places that are less hospitable. So it'd be like, don't go somewhere where you see nothing trying to live, like, because it's probably a reason nothing's living there.
Yeah, and just for reference, there is some plant life in these canyons too. So it's not like it's just bare rock and sand and you guys. Yeah.
Hit. Okay. 14?
Yeah, that's a success. So you guys really feel like you've had quite a bit of success with this whole, like, and this is not a bad IRL strategy either, to sort of watch what the animals are doing and figure out where the best places and the safest places to be might be. So yeah, you're following... Cedric has noticed insect trails, but maybe the more promising trails are, like, you realize you might be following shocker lizard tracks, or, the tracks of other reptiles living out here, or maybe some small mammals as well that are nocturnal. And speaking of nocturnal, I did say it was early evening because you had gotten up to travel again once it got to the cooler part of the day, so it is getting darker out as well, which means that, like, navigating by the sunlight is becoming very difficult anyway because it's getting low and it's in front of you. And also, because we can't forget about Nautia's bird, it is sort of like hop flying along behind you. Again, like, she can't go very high because it's so windy, the farther up you get above all of this rock. So yeah, she's sort of hop flying low along behind all of you. Okay, so that was Fletcher. We're back to Cedric.
I want to. So you were saying that we might have been following shocker lizard tracks. I want to see if I can spot one.
Okay. How are you trying to spot one?
I'm keeping an eye out on like the very edge of where we can see. Like, not like what I've been doing is like focusing very much on like what's right in front of me, like looking for tracks. Now I'm like trying to see like as far as I can down the canyons, just looking for like movement and things like that to see if I could see anything alive darting around corners or something like that.
Okay, so this is a perception. Nobody's used that in a minute, right? Yeah.
I think.
No, I used perception on my last turn, which was 2 ago.
Okay, yeah. So
what's a spot check?
That spot is part of perception. We lumped those two together. Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, we sort of homebrewed spot and listening to perception.
Sarah says, "Look for noses on the tops of boulders." I'm not sure what that's a reference to.
Wind?
Huh?
Like, is it like the way that?
Oh, considering it was right after saying looking for lizards and snakes out trying to get the last bit of tea.
Okay. I only saw the noses part and was like, noses, like graffiti? But yeah, you're probably right, Sarah. I bet there would be a lot of basking reptiles out trying to soak up the last few rays. So yeah, if you can't use perception, what would you like to try instead?
Handle animal?
Are you trying to like coax an animal to like
be a Disney princess? Sing to them.
Yes.
They will show us the way.
That is exactly what I want to do. I want to start singing a hymn to Moradin to try and coax the animals towards us.
Okay.
No, you want them to lead us.
Yeah, that's what I want.
Okay.
I'm trying to startle them.
Trying to that irritate the animals into
running away
in the direction we can follow.
So that we can follow them.
Okay.
Oh no, is that a perform check?
What? I was gonna say not perform.
If you're gonna sing.
No, it's a handle animal check. He's handling them with his voice like a Disney princess.
I'll be honest. I think I've got the same Yeah, they're both charisma, and I've got a 1 in both of them, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, you sing your little heart out.
Oh, you do have a 1 in...
Well,
okay, so you are
pick
trained
which
in
one
handle
you're
animal.
using, so
Okay.
we know what nobody else can use, in case somebody else wants to say.
I'm going to use perform.
Okay.
14.
I mean, you're trying really hard, but mostly it's just echoing off the canyon walls, and everybody else in your party is sort of, like, trying to edge away from you. Like, there's nobody else here to, like, for them to be embarrassed about or by, but, like, they're still, like, we're not with him. Like... Alright, so that is a failure. Okay, Kay, what would you like to try now?
I can't use perception because it was 2 turns ago,
no,
or now
you
it's 3.
Could because
Okay.
It was 3. You can use it now.
It was 3. Okay. So is the wind like also like it's windy on us too, right?
Yeah, it's windy down here. It's just like it gets a lot stronger the farther
Stronger.
up you go.
So, because like if the wind is coming through, that means there's an exit on the other side. So I was thinking about looking on the boulders for like moss or lichen, because on like the sunny, windy side, I would imagine it would be drier and there wouldn't be lichen on that side, right? So you could like theoretically follow the trail if there's like lichens on like rocks and boulders.
That's an interesting idea. You can go ahead and roll that.
All right.
The desert equivalent of like moss only grows on the north side of trees kind of thing.
Yeah, well, no, like here in like the park, the sunny, windy side, or the sunny, at least the sunny side of the trees doesn't have any lichen on it because it's too dry. 24.
Wow, yeah, okay. Yeah, so even though the wind kind of swirls in here because of all the odd-shaped rocks that, you know, act as barriers to the movement of the air, even still, you, Kay, very carefully, because now you're motivated to get the heck through here and out the other side.
I don't want to hear Cedric sing anymore.
Yeah. You're like, oh, let's pick up the pace here, folks. So yeah, you do start to notice some patterns for the growth of, there are lichens here.
They cover 6 to 8% of the Earth's surface.
Look at that. You learned about lichens for a Turf Wars video.
I did, and I'm gonna use it. Shameless plug, check out that video.
I mean, hey, it was a good one. So you do start to notice a pattern of the lichens. There are several different, at least several different color/texture combos happening, so the different species, although what a species of lichen is complicated. But yeah, you start to notice a growth pattern for them, and that helps you get an idea of sort of like, specifically, as I mentioned before, where like west and south are to help you go in relatively straight directions as you move through the maze. So that is another nice success. Nautia.
So guys, I think west is that way and like south is that way. So, you know, let's try not to get lost.
Just clarifying, we're heading west, right? Is that right? And we're heading into the setting sun?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, Arda rotates the same way as
Yes,
Earth.
we've had this conversation before.
Okay. I didn't write it down, so I don't...
I promise we've had this conversation before, because I said I wasn't going to change stuff like that.
There's 2 suns and the axis
I
is
don't
different.
want to deal with like the physics of multiple. No, we're not doing that.
We're heading
Like,
magnetic west.
No.
Magnetic west, that'd be hilarious.
It is Earth-like for, you know, everything that's convenient. But then I simplify.
What is
the calendar.
gravity at ground level on Arda? What is the acceleration due to gravity?
Oh shoot! I think I remember this constant. It's
3.98 meters per second. Is that, or is it more than that? Or is
No,
it
that
9?
sounds right. Yeah, it's like 9.1 feet per second.
Yeah, I thought it was like
So
9.18 or something. Yeah.
9.81.
Ah,
8.1.
I knew there was an 8 in there somewhere. Anyway.
I think.
You don't need to
The way
memorize
I got
constants.
information is, I remember there was a 9 and an 8 involved. I don't know where though.
Awesome. But you don't need to have constants memorized, even though all of your high school teachers probably told you to memorize them, because they're written down somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what open book tests are for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you should be tested on the things that you actually need to know rather than the things they think you should memorize.
But I think it's important that we mention this for all the DMs out there. Is
Mhm.
if you change the size of your planet,
Oh my god.
then you have to change all of your fall damage modifiers because you're
Do
going
you,
to
though?
get different acceleration, don't you? Well,
You'd have a higher.
It would all be
So-
relative, though, right? Like, if those creatures, like,
I mean, because everything would have evolved in an environment
Exactly.
where that
except
only
it's not
constant,
linear
so
because of
wouldn't it
allometry.
still-
So
I mean, if we're being fair, if you've changed the gravity of your planet, you've just completely upended just the entire ecosystem too. So good luck.
Yep. Yeah. Yes. Cindy and Sarah said the exact same thing we did, but the organisms evolved in that environment. Ooh, maybe on a planet with lower gravity, there are more animals that have sort of like patagium or like wing-like structures, so they can sort of like coast.
ooh.
Oh yeah, like there's all kinds of exobiology getting into what kind of life we should be looking for on other planets if there's life on other planets, because like everything's radically different based on the changes in physics, based on the size of the planet, the temperature and everything that's involved in like where it's located within its solar system, and then also what's the chemical makeup of the planet, because like, you know, you can evolve things on a planet that has a different mix of elements, and potentially you can build a new planet with very different laws of physics and nature. It's just a lot of work.
When Peter volunteers to run a campaign on this channel, he's free to do that.
Peter volunteers as tribute. Peter is voluntold as tribute.
Just remember, the next campaign has to start with the name has to start with a C because we've already done an A and a B. So.
Oh, is that how we? Couldn't we spell a word?
Oh, we
It's
could
a-
spell a word.
You could just
Like
put a
ABBA?
silent C.
All right, we've gotten radically off topic. Whose turn is it now?
I think it's
that was
mine.
Kay's turn. So
I'm
yes,
pretty
that's
sure it's mine.
Cindy's turn.
I wrote it down so I remembered.
I'm glad somebody's keeping
Which is
track.
why. I think I would like to use handle animal and see if I can persuade my new eagle friend to go ahead of us and see if she has see if she's any better at picking out a path than we are.
That's an interesting idea. Go ahead. Yeah, I'm gonna give you.
Maybe she knows something I don't.
I'm gonna give you a +1 bonus to this because it is your animal companion, but you haven't done a whole lot with her yet. So like she's following you guys, and so like you have a rapport with her. It's not super strong yet, but yeah, you can have a +1 to this because you're interacting with her specifically.
Okay, cool. Okay. Oh, actually. Oh, okay. Yeah, like there is stuff that should come in, but it's just Anyway. So I've got a +1 from you, and I've also got a +5 on that. So that's 23.
Wow. Here are all the high numbers. That is definitely a success. Yeah, so like with a little bit of communication, hand gestures and wing flapping and stuff, you sort of give her to understand that you'd like her to sort of scout ahead a little bit. And she does. Like, she's still definitely keeping within eye and earshot of you, but she does sort of coast up a little over some, rocks that are kind of in the way and sort of figure out a path that seems like it might work for you. So yeah. Very nice. Fletcher.
Okay, now that we've been able to, get a good path from the eagle, and we've kind of got the hang of moving forward using like the lichen system that Kay figured out and everything. When we follow, when we follow that and get to a point where we need to seems like we could keep going a certain way, need to slip through, and it might be a little hard. I'm going to try casting Grease to literally grease the slot canyon so we can slip through, like I'm lubing up the canyon.
I really liked it until just then. But not nature check if Fletcher hasn't used grease, so.
Yep. I mean, that's literally what I'm using it for.
There is no challenge that grease cannot help overcome. And
I haven't found one in this
proving it.
game yet.
20.
20, that is another success. Yeah, Fletcher sort of casts grease on this small it's a bit of a tunnel pass that Nautia can pretty much make it through because again she's small, but all of you sort of medium-sized creatures, it would be a very tight squeeze, and so this little bit of grease, it's not super pleasant, but you make it through much more easily.
It goes away very quickly.
Right.
So
yeah. Yeah. And it does mean that nobody gets stuck, which is nice because getting stuck in a circumstance like that is really scary. So nobody's stuck.
It's one of those where like the eagle hops through no problem, Nautia follows no problem, and then just totally doesn't notice everyone else going,
yeah, so it is continuing to get dark, but it is now Cedric's turn. You're at 4 successes and 2 failures on this step.
What's the moon right now?
Oh,
Can we see by moonlight?
Hold on. Let me go back to the document where I keep track of the moon
If we
phases.
had 2 moons.
So did you have to do a check for that, or is that just like, should I just write down like Arbel?
Huh?
I am actually keeping notes of what we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to know if I can. I don't need to cast a spell. Never mind. It's not important.
Oh, but you can. But
Just
you
trying
could.
to figure out. Okay.
Mine was an Arcana check.
Yeah.
Okay.
To cast that spell.
Yeah. For anyone who's curious, the full moon is always on the 10th of the month. So it is a waxing gibbous right now. So it is rather bright. Yes. What?
So you didn't change everything except the calendar is lunar.
Yes.
Okay.
I made it a 28-day calendar, and the full moon is always on the same day of the month because that's just easier.
How many days? How many days in a year?
12 times 28.
Okay, so the calendar year is slightly shorter.
Yes. Leave me alone.
Yes. Yes, we're slightly closer to the sun, you guys, or the
my
planet moves
God.
slightly faster.
Say that you'd go down this route.
These are the minutia that really
Really make a
life
D&D
to
game immersive.
a D&D
Yeah.
game, yeah.
Yep. Mhm.
Did you argue about this when we're
Because we're-
not stuck in the jaws of death?
We're doing an extended challenge, and now you have to be pedantic.
I mean, it's fine.
Is it though? Is it?
He's just procrastinating getting to what happens once you're on the other side of the stone teeth. So you can
Am I?
take that for what it's worth. What you doing,
So,
Cedric?
I guess I'm going to try and take my cues from Nautia's bird. I'm just going to keep watching. So like as everybody else is trying to like squeeze through behind the slot canyon, I'm just going to keep watching the bird to see if I can figure out what the next step is according to which way it's heading.
And you are using what skill?
I was thinking knowledge, nature, or survival.
Okay. Neither of those has been used in a moment, has it?
Nope.
No. Okay. I would say survival probably makes more sense here because you're like
Okay.
tracking. Yeah.
Ooh, nope.
Oof.
It's a 9.
It's a 9.
Birds are weird, you
Birds
know?
are weird.
Like it's so fluffy, but not fluffy looking. I don't know. It kind of creeps me out with its like really dead eyes, just looking at me. I don't. I mean, the last bird we encountered was that horrible bird in the jungle when Nautia tried to kill us. So
When what?
she tried to lure us into that trap with those terrible death birds.
You were looking for birds. She took you to the birds.
Mm-hmm. That is what happened.
Yeah. See, so I don't trust them like this one.
Okay, well, that was your third failure. You were so close. You were at 2 failures and 4 successes.
No.
All right, but now we get to roll a d10. Yay!
No, can we? Is there not a thingy that we can?
Wait. Qui-Gon get Bowers gave me
6.
advantage in the last.
We still have
Yes.
an advantage.
Oh,
We
you
do.
do. Okay,
You're right.
roll again.
I couldn't think of the word. I was like, the thingy, the thing that we have.
Roll again.
Okay, survival, right? Yes. Okay. 22.
Yes.
Okay. 22.
Yes.
All right, that is a success. So you passed that step. So that
How many
was
steps are
Take
there?
back all those mean things you said about birds.
that was step number 2.
Cedric said them. I didn't say them.
Yeah, you're like, the birds are weird, and you're sort of like not really sure what to do with it at first, but just sort of like, you know, having your head up a little more is making you notice, you know, the shape of the rocks and the maze a little differently than when you were sort of looking primarily downwards earlier. So yeah, it winds up being more helpful than you would have first thought. So
Yeah.
hooray for remembering that you have advantage. I think if I look at that, you have and Sarah just gave you one, so you have 4 of those right now. So
4 advantages?
yeah, because
Wow.
Qui-Gon used like all of his points last time. So
Hey, Qui-Gon. He's
Yeah.
a team player.
I mean, hey, yes.
Yeah, I thought we spent most of them. I guess not.
Yeah, so Sarah is granting you 1 for later as well. But that means we're on to step 3, and I don't get to use the result from that D10, but we'll roll it again later, probably.
Oh.
So we are back to Kay's turn at the beginning of step 3. You've definitely made more progress through the maze. You're heading towards what I know to be the center. You have no idea, but I mean, you, the players, do, because I said it takes 5 steps, so.
Can I tumble? Because there's rocks and stuff.
Yeah, you can try that again. Rocks and
Get out your rock tumbler.
Yeah.
Put
All right, let's tumble this shit. 12.
12. Again, that's what you did before. You're still struggling to sort of like, you're trying really hard to make it look cool, but
Yeah, that is very true.
Not
She's like,
being-
ha, like Mission Impossible, and then tumbles into a rock.
yeah. So, you know, you're trying really hard to make it look cool, but it's not necessarily being as effective as you might hope. Nautia.
I would like to do another perception check. Yes, I can do it this time.
Mhm.
And again, looking for sort of the signs that we've already identified as useful, and also, yeah, just looking to see if anything has changed that might be of note.
Yeah. I saw the sign.
I opened up my eyes, I saw the sign.
That's a natural one. I would like to use one of those advantages. for this.
Okay. Use an advantage.
I'm gonna use a different die too.
Oh, man. I was so ready, too.
That one is a 21.
Okay, yes. So again, looking for animal sign is continuing to be successful for you, and now that the sun is going down, there's actually a little more activity. Not necessarily right in the spaces where you all are moving through, because of course you're loud-ish and big, and so the animals are sort of giving you a wide berth. But yeah, there's a little more activity now that the sun's going down. There are some scorpions out, not kitten or squirrel sized scorpions like the ones you fought in your camp the other day, teeny tiny scorpions, but scorpions, maybe some kangaroo rats, some lizards, some snakes, maybe a spider or 2. So yeah, like the desert is fairly alive.
The
down
sound of
here in the-
music.
The desert's alive with the sound of music. Yes, Fletcher.
You should sing to the toads. They'd help us if you sang to them.
Toads.
The lizard,
Oh.
reptile, whatever. It has a backbone. They all look the same.
The distinct
some real
prejudice
vertebrate hate
against
coming out this
vertebrates
game.
here today. Woo!
Whatever's got like skin and stuff.
Gross skin.
Gross.
Right.
Sarah, what is a javelina?
Javelina.
Pigs. Javelina.
Javelina.
Wild pig.
Wild
Oh.
pigs.
Oh,
Javelinas.
cool. Didn't know that one. I
Yeah.
learned something.
Native to the southeastern United States.
Oh, well,
They're real
there you
cute.
go. They're real cute, but apparently also dangerous. Because she
Oh,
said
well,
to
yeah,
watch
I
out
mean,
for them.
pigs.
Oh yeah, all pigs are
I mean,
dangerous.
yeah,
All pigs are
yes.
Pretty good at tearing things up, if I recall.
Yeah, they're solid
Oh,
muscle.
their teeth are mean.
Mhm.
Yeah.
No good. I
Yeah.
don't like the pigs. Colored peccary. Okay, gotcha.
I got bit by a pig once.
Ooh.
That's no good.
Okay. Is like using, would you come up with something if we wanted to try to like use one of the items we have in our bag? Like, do we come up with a check that you would like associate it with?
Yeah, tell me what you're thinking about and we'll make it work.
So since there's like more activity out and there's like things are coming out to start trying to find their food and everything, and we're trying to follow things, I have a vial with 2 old sturge eggs in it. But if I put those out, there's things that are out just scavenging and doing like things, food however they can, and potentially providing something, a food source that it would collect and return somewhere. We could have it, give us an even better trail to keep following something that's out here in the wilderness. So basically setting out something that they would scavenge, and it's probably a good thing that they probably smell really bad at this point, because it'll bring things in.
I mean, canonically, they're only like 30 days old, right?
Well, yeah, man, I don't even know.
I think I still prefer
maybe.
that.
I think I prefer Cedric singing over rotten sturge eggs.
Have we used or is like knowledge, nature, or survival available to Fletcher right now? Whoever's keeping
They
track
both
of the
are right
list?
now.
They
I think
are?
both are, yeah.
Yeah.
Then
They both
yeah, I
are.
would say one of those is appropriate for this sort of like luring in animals thing.
Okay, I'll try the knowledge nature.
Okay.
We might attract butterflies or moths.
Sure. And that's a 24.
A 24, that's another success. Yeah, you take this vial of nasty-ass old sturge eggs out of your bag, and yeah, they smell a little weird, and like, again, because the sturges are very big bugs, like, these eggs were not tiny either, right? Like, they're not like actual mosquito egg size, like, they were rather large, and so, yeah, there's quite a bit of sort of rancid goop inside there. And sure enough, it doesn't take too long for a lizard to sort of, do the thing where they like skitter for a bit and then they stop and look and bounce their head up and down and skitter a little more, and it comes up and sort of like licks a little bit of the egg and sort of like
Drops dead.
and takes a little bit more of it, and then it sort of like skitters away in a different direction, and you begin following it, and it takes you through actually a bit of like a broader sort of straighter path for a moment, which is really nice. So yeah, you make a little bit of distance. Very nice. We're back up to Cedric.
With the vial of vile contents.
Yes. Oh, yes. But also, you can subtract the sturge eggs from your inventory.
I'm sure Fletcher is excited about that.
I know,
Major
right?
log
Now he's got a
there.
clean vial.
Well, I don't know if it's clean. It's
Empty
just-
vial. Empty vial.
It's empty. And Sarah says you could have dusted the lizard's toes with a fluorescent or neon non-toxic powder to track it, which is definitely a thing people do. I don't know
Definitely
that you
not a
have
thing that
anything
we
like
have,
that. Yeah,
yeah.
no.
I mean, Fletcher's got a lot of weird stuff, but I don't.
The eyebrow raised when you said that was so judgy. Yeah, if you had like
that's Cedric's judginess.
I mean, yeah, if you had like shiny metal powder or gemstone dust or something, I bet that would work, but it might feel like a waste to put that on a lizard's feet. So
Yeah,
you know.
spell components might be a bad use of. Take my
Magic
powdered-
lizard.
Yeah, my powdered gold and sprinkle it on this
Lizard wizard.
lizard wizard.
if you put spell components on its feet. Anyway.
Or if it's a dragonborn. I'm gonna try and search for the tracks of the lizard, even without the powdered dust that we left on it.
No powdered dust or neon dust or whatever, but you're using a search check. Okay.
Yes.
They might have gunky, rotting sturge egg.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I want to use my keen sense of smell to... Nope. Big old 9.
Big old 9. Okay, that is another failure. So you have 2 successes.
So after the lizard disappears and I try and track it for a minute, and then I turn around to Fletcher and I say, what we could do next time is try and like put some kind of powder or some kind of colored dust on its feet. Maybe that would help.
And do you have colored powder?
I don't know. Let me see. And I like pull out my backpack and like set it on the ground and start like pulling things out and going through it.
In the middle of this like wind tunnel that we're all in.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, 3 pieces of paper fly away. I will deduct them from my inventory.
That is dedication. We're at that level of inventory management in this game.
I do have a bunch of salts and spices.
You do. You just bought them from the Throy Green. You can make a spicy lizard.
I'm gonna say, was there any turmeric in there?
Yeah, I feel like if I make a spicy lizard, there's no way Cedric's gonna let it go, though.
It seems like a waste, especially because the spices were expensive. So yeah. Okay, so now you have 2 successes and 2 failures, and it is Kay's turn.
No pressure, Kay.
And we have 4 more advantages that we can use.
Yeah. And half the thing to get through.
You have 3 more, but yes.
Naughty used perception recently, right?
Somebody did. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Yes, that one's available for you.
It is.
Yeah, you can use search.
It's the last
search,
2.
Knowledge, nature, and tumble are off the board for you.
Thank you.
Okay. I guess I'll try and be perceptive and see if I can sniff out any rotting sturge egg from around the corner.
Okay. Sniff for... Yeah.
13.
13. Yeah, so, like, oddly enough, it's... you don't know if maybe it's, like, the cooler air is making it a little easier.
The wind
for
is
you
blowing to us,
Yeah.
so theoretically we should be able to smell it better.
Yeah, but, like, weirdly enough, you are able to sort of sniff where the lizard went a little bit farther using these gross, rotten bug eggs. The inventory item you didn't know you needed until just now. Yeah, so
Guys, my
he
nose
gave
is
up one of his
really
precious
good.
samples.
Yeah. Yeah, that is another success. And we're back to Nautia.
I would like to try follow the eagle again. Another handle animal.
Okie dokie.
And that's still +1 extra for being my friend. So 17, 18.
18. Okay, yeah. She is a little reluctant now that it's like dark. This isn't really a time when she normally would be active because an eagle is a daytime creature, but she's trying her best. And the waxing gibbous moon and its bright light certainly does help quite a bit, especially because in the desert a lot of surfaces have a very high albedo, so they reflect the moonlight nicely. All right, that is 4 successes and 2 failures, and we're back to Fletcher.
No pressure.
So wait, so
Base is loaded.
it's very bright. It's bright enough for people with enhanced eyesight. Is it getting to the point where I need something to help me see? Like, should I get out?
It's rough because you're down here, and so, like, there is moonlight, but with the angle of the rocks, it's not always super accessible to you. You are more or less following the outlines of your friends. But like if you wanted to see better, you would probably need a light at this point. Yeah, because you're like
Okay.
if you were out on the bare desert, this light would definitely be enough for you to see. But in here, it's getting a little
Okay. So then, since I can't really like do like not being able to see well enough, I can't really do a lot of like probably like the forward marching sort of like navigational stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna light one of the candles I have in my like hooded lantern, and instead I'm gonna be kind of at the back, and I'm going to use. I think I'm gonna try, if this makes sense, just an intelligence check and just like map sort of how we have come in and moved through to determine like is there a overall general direction that we have been going that has been working this whole time, even though we've been kind of taking a circuitous route. If overall it's like it looks like we're moving this way, we kind of know like that seems like where everything is going.
Love that. Yeah, you can definitely use an intelligence check to be sort of scribbling a map. Yeah.
Okay. 21.
21. That is another success. So you successfully pass step number 3. And yeah, Fletcher takes out his notebook and is sort of scritchy scratching there in the back, sort of as best you can, making a map of the ways you've tried and the ways you've been successful to sort of prevent you from doubling back on yourselves as much. So yeah, you're definitely sort of helping orient the group in the right direction. Very nice. Very nice. Okay. Yeah. So we're on step number 4. We haven't gotten to do any fun things. Yeah, I think... Yeah, we're on step number 4. Fun things. Yeah, we're on step number 4, and it's going to be Cedric's turn. But I think what happens sort of like as you are continuing to navigate, I'm going to throw a very tiny challenge in your way. It's not like one of the big, like, oh no ones. But Cedric, you all have gotten to a point where you were concerned about this in the canyon where you got stuck the other day. But there is actually a little rush of surface water here, and you need to figure out a way across it or through it. It's not super deep or super wide, it's just there is some flowing water here through the stone teeth, and it, again, is a very wiggly pattern, but this little rush is definitely helping erode the rocks in this maze-like pattern.
Okay, so how wide is it?
Probably like 10 feet across. It's not very wide at all. It's just, it's there, and there's some water.
Okay, so I would like to, so everything in here is these kind of like sandstone slots. In all of our movements through here, I'm kind of thinking, is there a sandstone column that I could chip away at to break and form a bridge? Basically, because I know that I could probably like weaken it at the base, because it's got this kind of layers in it. Try and get that, and then lean it over the.
Interesting. Is this a use of stone cunning? Is that right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What skill is that?
I think it's craft.
Okay. Yeah, that works.
So I try and do it with my Warhammer, which is not the best tool for shaping rock. And so, like, as I swing at the base of the column, it's the only column I've been able to find anywhere down here, and it's shaped perfectly. But I've never really worked with sandstone before, and as I hit it with my Warhammer, which is like the size of a bread box, the whole thing just kind of explodes. Like showering me in pieces of sandstone and rock and lichen.
And lichen, that's fine.
You and anyone else who was upwind.
Right, yeah. Well, and Cedric, because you were trying to knock this pillar over to get it to form a sort of bridge, some of these chunks splash into the water and a little bit of water gets kicked up into your face, and you realize there's some sort of mineral that this water must have picked up as it's been flowing through all this rock, and it sort of makes your eyes sting, and you have to take a minute to clean them out with like your water skin or something.
Is this in any way similar to the water that I drank in the Cochrial River?
It doesn't feel like that kind of burning. This is more just like, oh, it's, like it's been flowing through a lot of rock, so it's a mildly salty kind of thing.
Okay.
Right? Yeah, no, this is not.
All right.
This doesn't.
Briny, not poisonous.
Right, yeah, it doesn't. And like you've been standing next to this rush trying to figure out a way across it. And no, it doesn't smell or look like the poison in the Cochrial River. No, this is just heavily mineralized water that's been flowing through these desert rocks.
Gotcha. Do I take any damage from that?
No, it's just annoying.
Okay. All right. I spend the next round trying to get the grit out of my eyes.
Yeah. Okay. Cedric tried knocking some rocks across this little stream and it didn't work very well.
Is there like a low-hanging branch or like a rock outcrop that I could tie a rope swing to?
There's definitely a lot of interestingly shaped rocks around here. There aren't any branches per se. Everything that's growing in here is either a cactus or a low growing shrub, and even the cacti in here, it's not like you see a bunch of tall saguaros in here, right? They're mostly sort of bushier, lower to the ground cacti. So yeah, no branches per se, but you could probably tie a rope to something and swing across if you'd like to try that. Is this a use rope check?
It would be a use rope check.
Go for it.
Oh, I'm Tarzan! 22.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah.
Whee!
So Kay is what would really make this night better? A rope swing.
She ties it up and she she has it down and she takes a really far running step back, runs all the way across, jumps and lands on the other side. The rope swing is still there.
Amazing. The rope swing is still there. Yeah. Amazing. Nautia, it is your turn.
So are we going on the assumption that we will all successfully be crossing with this rope, or is this we each get to make our way across?
You can.
I tied the rope really well because.
Also, you can fly.
Yeah. So yeah, you can do whatever.
But I'm also I'm doing the math here on what I should be doing next, and if that is getting across the water or helping others do so. Mm-hmm. Actually, what would that look like if I was to try to help the others across, since I can fly a little bit?
I think basically, we've used this other times you were trying to help people, on ropes climbing up and down things. This would be sort of like a help action moment. So I will let you choose either your dexterity or your strength, and you can roll. And then whether that is a success or a failure will determine whether or not it's helpful to anyone else.
All right. Well, that is definitely a strength roll. Oh man. It's only 10.
Only 10. Okay, so that is not a success, and that means that you're not especially helpful to anyone, which kind of makes sense, because when you're swinging on a rope swing, you have to move so fast that it would be difficult for Nautia to sort of keep pace with you to help you in any way. So, unfortunately, not super helpful to the group. And that brings us back to Fletcher, who's already looking through his notes to see what he can do.
Use the rope swing, Fletcher. It's so fun.
Well, where you tied it though, is it is the rope back to dangling on our side, it's accessible, or does it is it? It's if you swing across the river, I feel like it would have been tied over the river to swing across.
Well, she couldn't have tied it
Are we able to?
Yeah.
Are we able to use it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think. Well, it's also
she had to
a
anchor it
50
on our
foot.
side.
Yeah, it's also a 50-foot length of rope, which means that like it's like hanging in the water, and like it's
There was-
the
yeah,
tail
there was nowhere
dragged through
tall
the
enough to
water.
even-
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fletcher is not strong enough to keep himself holding onto a rope.
What?
But is he dexterous enough to swing? Who doesn't love swings? Come on, Fletcher. It's going to be so fun.
I
Wait.
believe that Fletcher is not strong enough to climb a rope like in gym class, but like just hold himself up. I bet he could.
I don't
Tie
know. My
a knot
strength
on
is
the
0.
bottom and sit on it.
But that 0 means like
Average.
average,
Yeah.
right?
I guess.
Yeah.
Like look, like Ryan, I can hold myself up on a rope.
So is
You can,
that
just,
so? If
you
I
can tie a knot on the bottom and sit on the knot.
tie a knot, like, or use it as like a foothold at the
Yeah.
bottom.
Yeah.
Right? So it'd be.
Actually,
Would,
one
that,
up.
would this just be a dex
hand
check
height,
if I
too.
wanna use the rope? Because it's already tied, so I don't have to like
Yeah.
do anything with the rope.
It's just swinging.
What we could like even tie since we got like all this extra length at the bottom, could like try and like tie it around my shield so that you could sit on my shield like a little swing.
Gosh. Well, it's his turn. So, yeah, I think if you want to try swinging, that would just be a dex check. Yeah.
Just a dex check. And how deep is this water? We're like swinging over it, but if it's like
It's deep enough that, yeah, you didn't necessarily, you, because you're so tall, probably could, but it would be rather, like, you'd be slogging, right? Like, it's deep enough that you'd prefer not to walk through it if you don't have to.
and
I'd
running
imagine it's
very
moving pretty
rapidly,
fast, right?
Yeah, it's pretty fast, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make a little foothold on the bottom to have one foot on it, to try to, especially like stabilize myself and try to
Take
swing.
your shoes off. You can like grip better with your feetsies.
With your feetsies? Kay is in a
Feetsies.
mood tonight.
I roll my eyes and take my shoes off.
Okay.
Because it's also, if I fall in the water, they're in my bag, then my shoes don't get wet.
Hey.
Okay.
You're welcome, Fletcher.
15.
Yeah, after taking your shoes off, you're like, oh, she was right. I can, like, just get my feet on the rope a little better. And you manage to swing across. No issue.
Woo!
Woo!
Kay's like ready for a high five. She's like, yeah, Fletcher! Wasn't it fun?
I like touch your hand. One finger. I'm like, super fun.
Oh.
All right,
Can't tell if
whatever.
it's serious or sarcastic. Cedric.
I mean, I also want to try and swing across. Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah.
Okay.
But let's see. So yeah, there was a use rope check, and there was a. Oh well, the used rope. You could use rope. Use rope.
Oh,
yes.
yeah.
Because Kay was far enough back in the order. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I want to try and Fletcher's loop is too big for my foot, so I'm gonna untie it, and I'm gonna like tie like a bunch of knots to make like a big knot, so that I can then like sit on it.
When in doubt, just tie a lot of knots.
Yeah, a bunch of knots.
That's definitely the
Yeah,
right way
like
to do that.
Cedric's not good enough at use rope to tie like a monkey fist, but like he wants to tie like the equivalent, which is like 80 square knots.
Sure. Okay.
It's a
Yes.
hatchet knot, because you
Yeah.
need a hatchet to undo it.
Yes. Oh, yeah, Kay, did you want this rope back? Because
Oh
it
my
is
God.
ruined now.
What is it with you wanting to cut the rope into pieces?
We could still probably use it. We could probably just cut that in. Or Fletcher could grease it, then we could undo it.
Are you rolling use rope?
Yes.
Yes.
Use rope. 13?
13. That is just barely a success. Yeah. So you make it over the rush.
And then Nadia can fly over and bring my rope back.
Yep.
Thanks, Nadia.
Yeah. That I'll just
It's
let you
exactly
say.
what I was going to suggest.
Yeah, I'll just let you say that happens because that's yeah. But it is Kay's turn, and you have 3 successes and 2 failures on this round.
I made a beautiful rope swing.
You did. That was excellent.
Well, we're now on the other side of this. Okay. We haven't done a search check in a while.
Nope.
I'm gonna see if there's like animal prints, because if there's like this water, it would probably like the sand is probably like softer, and I'm assuming something would come and drink out of the water.
That's a good assumption.
Because like it's a desert, so where you gotta find water. We have our own portable Nautia, but most people don't. So most animals don't. So
that is true.
So what's our success failure rate?
You have 3 successes and 2 failures.
Okay.
And still 3 advantages.
Mm-hmm.
Still 3 advantages. I got an 18.
Yeah, that is a success. So you do see, as you might have expected, that there are some little prints of tiny, probably mostly desert mammals coming to drink, and then, retreating tracks in the other direction. So you use that to gain a bearing now that you're on the other side of this little bit of a stream. Nautia. You're back at the group's favorite, 4 successes, 2 failures.
Mm-hmm.
And 3 advantages.
3 advantages. I would like to do another perception check to sort of reorient and see where we should go from here.
Okay.
Ten
is not going to be enough.
Can I use one of those advantages then and try that again? I keep rolling badly on perception. I've got a +8.
You roll so well on it all the rest of the time. It's evening it out.
I know. 21.
21 is a success, and so you succeed on step 4.
Alrighty.
Alrighty, Fletcher, you are starting step 5. You've made quite a bit of progress through the stone teeth. You've been going for quite a while. It is pretty far into the night at this point. Yeah.
Good thing we had that nap earlier, am I right?
This is when we want to be traveling. Like, it might be dark, but it's like, hey, at least we're not frying under the sun.
I mean, yeah.
And most of us can see just fine.
I mean, I can. I have my lantern.
Truth.
Would the lantern work in high wind?
Huh? Yeah, because it's hooded, and it's got protection on most of the sides, and also because, again, it's not like you guys
We're
are
down
like
low.
Yeah, it's not like you're trying to push through the wind down here. You would if you were up higher, but yeah, down here
it just took 15 minutes to get it lit.
Right, yeah. It's breezy down here, but it's not so much that the candle isn't going to stay lit. Yeah.
So what are our surroundings still pretty much the same, like surrounded by slots going different directions?
Yeah. This maze has looked
significant change. Okay.
No, yeah, it's looked pretty much the same the entire time, which is again why it's so difficult to navigate, is because it's just
Yeah. Search and perception are like always used up when it gets back to my turn.
How's your knowledge nature?
I mean, it's pretty good, but I've done that a number of times. I'm trying to come up with different things.
Mix it up. Add some
Well, so
variety.
based on, so like I have my map where I've been sort of recording like the direction we're going, and so I think continuing to kind of try to follow in that direction where the general sense of where we need to go, similar to Greece, but if we see a way going forward and it seems like it might be a little too tight, I want to see if an acid splash would react with the sandstone and kind of dissolve and open it up more. Depending on the minerals that are in there, could react and open up the slot more for us.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
That's
Give
why
it a try.
Fletcher's our scientist.
Yeah. Hopefully we
He
don't
does
use up his
surprise-
combat. He'll have used up all of his spell slots.
See if acid.
Cedric's
see if
like,
acid
I
splash
make
is a good
bridge.
solvent.
Yeah.
Cedric's like, I make bridge and explode the rock. Why don't you just beat the rock out of the way when we're trying to walk forward?
I would, but I was distracted doing the thing that I was doing on my turn.
So yeah, looks like acid splash would be a very good solvent because that's a 25.
Hey, look at that.
Nice.
Amazing. Yeah. It makes that splurp sound, and then all of a sudden, as the green sort of like slides down, you can see that it did in fact eat away a little bit of the wall. But because that is a very low level spell and it doesn't actually do like continuing damage, I'm gonna say that you have to use up 2 of that, if you had 2 of that, because it's gonna take you. Did you have 2 of that?
I did not have 2
You
of
did not
that.
have 2 of that. Okay.
No, I have 1 of those prepared.
Okay, that's fine. But you used it, and it made a little bit of a broader opening for you to navigate through. Cedric.
So we've been very focused on animal prints. I would like to kind of revise my search image a little bit for humanoid prints. So we came in here tracking, these shadowy figures. I want to see if there's any sign of humanoid passage through here. And that it's not necessarily just boot prints, but also like if there are any markings, because, if anybody's coming through a maze, they're probably going to start leaving maybe even just shorthand notes to themselves and things like that.
And we didn't do that.
Yeah, no, we didn't do that.
Tracking.
We started out doing it, but have not kept it up.
Yeah, tracking is survival.
Can I use one of those advantages?
You can.
Ah, man.
There's one more.
Oh, you're going to let me use double advantage?
They're there for you guys to spend.
I mean, we're right at the start, though.
Yeah, it's a 10.
It's a 10. So yeah, you think about that, and like, it seems like a good idea. You're definitely tracking a person or person-like creature. And so yeah, you spend some time looking, but it's just so frustratingly dark and windy in here, and like the longer you look, the more you're like, oh, but like, because it's a maze, they could have taken any path through here, and I'm not necessarily ever going to encounter their footprints. So you do not find humanoid footprints, unfortunately.
Especially because we've like blasted our way through half of it.
I mean, yeah. All right. Well, that was Cedric. Kay, what would you like to try?
After thinking about that, Kay is like, maybe we should have like written ourselves some notes. So can she like make a rudimentary, not exactly a map, but like carve like a river thing, like an arrow on one of the rock walls or pillars that's nearby?
Can you make an argument for what skill or ability you would be using to do that?
The stabbing one.
You're making an attack.
Yeah, I make an attack.
How about this is a little bit of a stretch.
I mean, I have to damage the rock, right? So
yeah, but this is like
attack to me.
I mean, but this is like a writing kind of thing. So I was trying to think if maybe like your profession is like shopkeeper, right? So you could do something like that to, like I am trying to make a note that will be comprehensible to me later. Does that feel like a good argument for you?
I do have decipher script for later, so I could decipher whatever I made. I can make markings
for my D&D notes,
and then decipher the script on the way back.
I mean, well, yeah. Let's start with your profession, and maybe you can use decipher script later.
Oh, I have forgery. That's like writing stuff.
It is, but that's mostly like. That's like the art of copying more so than it is like calligraphy or something.
The art of copying letters in a specific way on a surface of some sort.
If you would like to use it, you can, but remember that when it's something that you have to sort of like stretch for, the DC is higher. But you can use that if you'd like.
Do you have anything in craft of any kind?
I don't think you have a craft.
I'm not very crafty.
Uh-huh.
Nope, that's what I'm going with.
What was that?
I'm gonna go with forgery. I'm gonna forge a map.
Okay.
On a rock. How many fails do we have?
You have 1 fail and 1 success.
Okay, well. Oh, I got a 21.
Wow, okay, yeah, so...
No, I got a 22, because math is hard.
Natural 19. All right, yeah, you scratch some notes to yourself in a few rocks.
No, it's like, okay, so there's like, you know, like you can, there's like those rocks where you like rub them together and then you like, and they're wet and and it gives you like that paint stuff with like, I don't know, daggery stuff, and I make something work.
Okay.
I'm a smart street girl.
That's true. You are a smart street girl. Yeah, and you leave some markings for yourself to sort of like
decipher later.
Right, if you do happen to like come back to this spot, you'll be like, we've already been here because that's my paint splotch.
And there's directions.
And
with Fletcher's map, together, we should be able to get back. Right, Fletcher?
Yeah.
I think so.
Amazing.
Make sure to write scribble, line, scribble on your map so we remember where...
Yeah, you should mark this rock on your map to remind us that I wrote something here so that way we can figure our way back out.
Oh, is that writing? I thought it was a drawing.
It's like kind of both. Like, see, there's this river, and then like you see this right here. That's like acid. That's an explosion, and that rock fell apart. So it's like you have to go through like the like Vashti rock thing and across the river.
It's a pictogram.
Is this bit supposed to be us?
Well, the fat, stupid-looking one is you specifically.
That doesn't look anything like me.
You're right. It looks better.
I like to think this turns into like Fletcher has his like detailed, like nicely drawn map that he's making out, and then Kay starts contributing to it. So there's just like X's and squiggles and like smiley, like frowny faces and stick figures like scribbled on top of his like painstakingly like detailed out map of what we're doing. So it just looks like a child got a hold of an heirloom and like destroyed it with things.
Okay, I have a hilarious story. So my dad, he like collects sand dollars, and so he had this really beautiful white one, but when I was like 5, I was like, oh, it's white and very boring, so I colored it with crayon and ruined it. He was like so mad.
The fact that 5-year-old Nancy was very into bright colors
are you surprised?
does not surprise me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm interested that crayon like worked on a sand dollar, but
yeah, it's
also
like a rough surface.
Couldn't you have like carefully heated it up to melt the crayon back off?
I mean, maybe. I don't
Unless
know.
it like wicks into the sand dollar.
Oh, because they're really porous.
Yeah, it's so dependent on the wax.
Take it in the wax.
Yeah.
Just like sucked it in. Yeah.
Well,
I don't know. I've never
R.I.P.
tried it.
beautiful sand dollar.
Yeah.
All right, well, that was Kay's contribution to your navigation. Nautia, what you got?
I'm going to be super boring and use all the information we've sort of already gathered as far as looking for plant life and following animals, and use knowledge nature to try to continue through.
Mm-hmm. Has trouble picking a die. Would you like to use an advantage?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So that was another one.
Okay. Get rid of that natural one. Get that out of here.
Dice trail is getting very full.
Oh no! I was like that the other night.
That's 10.
Nope, that's another failure. Yeah, again, it's like, also on this side of that little wash, it seems like maybe the wind pattern is a little different, and maybe there are fewer plants over here, and you're kind of having a tough time using those same clues now. Also, it's dark, and even with dark vision, like, especially, so dark vision, and this is like a fun IRL fact, I'm glad that they did it this way, like, dark vision doesn't let you see color, right? Dark vision lets you see in, like, a version of grayscale, basically, and that's because the cone cells in your eyes need lots of light in order to function. So, yeah, you are trying your best to sort of, like, look at plants and animal tracks and things, but like without color, a lot of plants at a distance look like rocks and vice versa. So it's difficult for you to, like a barrel cactus looks like a rock and stuff. So yeah, it's difficult for you to sort of don't sit on it. Yeah, it's difficult for you to use those nature cues in the same way that you did before. Fletcher, we're at 2 successes, 2 failures, no more advantages.
I'm gonna try, especially since you just said the like wind patterns might seem a little flowing differently over here. I'm gonna see if we've been following it this whole way, and like each time based on my map of where we've been heading to where the animals are going and how that correlates with how the wind is moving, and see if I can understand something about the airflow through here based on my studies of the elemental planes, like the plane of air. So I'm going to use knowledge of the planes.
Okay.
Because it's like the fundamental, you're basically studying the fundamentals of that element, and this is all this air passing through here.
Sure. Yeah, okay.
Trying to just now do another, search check.
No, that's fair.
25.
Wow, jeez. Yeah, okay. That was going to be another Reachy one, but you beat the Reachy DC, so you're good.
That's what we get for being creative.
I mean,
The dice universe appreciate it, and
so you do just that. You think a lot about the plane of air and the physics of air movement, and sort of follow the wind patterns and the way the wind has eroded the rocks and continue forward.
Kay is doing an interpretive dance to help him think. Air.
You have like ribbon dancers with you.
Yes. Cedric's still
twirling.
Singing in the background.
Sure. Just really quietly under his breath, because eventually he picked up that everybody else was really not enjoying it, but he's only on verse 42, so it's like there's a lot of, you kind of want to finish. Now it's kind of stuck in his head.
Is that a relatable experience to have a hymn stuck in your head? I wouldn't know, but
I mean, it is for Cedric.
Okay. But it's your turn now.
It's the priesthood equivalent of like 99 bottles of beer on the wall.
Okay.
99 irons of iron to forge. Sounds better in Dwarvish. I guess I just want to do a perception check. Like, I just want to like.
Okay, has that been used recently?
Hasn't been used in a while.
Okay.
16.
16, yeah. You continue perceiving, again, after that trick with the following the eagle, you realized if you sort of like look up a little more rather than sort of looking down or straight in front of you, looking up seems to be giving you a better idea. How you can sort of figure out where there are clearings in the forest by seeing where there are spots where there doesn't seem to be as much canopy. Like, you're sort of doing that with the rocks, where you're understanding how what you can see sort of up in front of you translates to what's on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many successes do we have?
4.
How many failures do we have?
2.
God damn it.
We're always at this point. I love this pattern. So stressful.
I was going to say, every time we get down to this, but this time we don't have an advantage to get out of it, which is how we've succeeded on the past ones.
Yep.
So don't screw
Well, we haven't failed any of these yet.
Hashtag no pressure.
Hey! Shut up! Why would you do that?
Because I love you, Nancy.
We haven't used search recently?
Nope.
No. What did you use
Nope.
on the bank of the? No, that was longer ago than.
You used forgery last.
You use rope and forgery is what she's done.
Okay. Yeah.
Now we'll use a search check.
Okay.
Come on. Oh, I got a nat 20. Plus my search is 9, so I got a 29.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Kay is over this. She's
Maybe
done
I
her
should have
interpretive dance.
Left it at 5
Please.
successes before 2 failures.
Done.
Oh, will
No,
we be doing
we've
this for
been
the next 2
we've been getting
episodes?
through every time
Yeah.
on 2 failures.
Yeah.
So we would all of those times we would have already failed. and
Yeah,
not
no,
gotten anywhere.
that was great. Yeah. So, with that, you all sort of working together. Oh, and in fact, Kay, I almost forgot to do this. Kay, you are searching, and you can see it. It feels like the rock maze is starting to open up a bit, and you get this feeling like, I wonder if we're getting close to the end. And you notice something kind of weird, off to the side of like the path that you're following a little bit. It looks like there's something buried under the sand, maybe like half buried, like the sand is blown over it. And I think that is where we will take our halfway break. So thank you everybody who's been hanging out with us. We'll get to see what's under the sand in a moment when we come back. So yeah, get up, stretch your legs, get some refreshments, all that good stuff. And we will see you back here in like 10 minutes. Thank you. Bye. Hey everybody, there we are. We're back. Oh look, and both microphones are working. I know how to stream, maybe. It's episode number 40. Anyway,
Killing it.
we're back. We hope you enjoyed
I'm over
your
here
break.
like, is mine still recording again?
Yeah, right?
Yes. Okay, we're good.
Hope you enjoyed your break. Got some snack and drink refills. Talked about the drama of trying to get, vaccines. Please get vaccinated if you are able.
Yeah,
Don't
we
even say
can't
please,
buy them in
just do
Ecuador,
it.
so.
Yeah, what was that? And it's free?
Don't
Yeah. Yeah, please get
get
vaccinated.
vaccinated,
Please.
dummy.
Yeah, for your own safety and the safety of everyone around you. Okay, yeah, so we are back. They have made it basically to the end of the stone teeth, but as they are sort of making their way, and of course there is no like hard beginning and hard ending of this thing, right? You already saw that the beginning sort of had some like, forward soldiers as it were, and then you made it into the maze. So you're sort of coming out the other side of that sort of like dwindling away of the rock maze. But Kay saw something, noticed something out of the corner of her eyes, sort of like half buried in the sand. But again, it's dark out, and your dark vision really only gives you grayscale, so you can't really tell what it is from a distance. But if you'd like to go over and investigate, you certainly can.
I would like to go over and investigate.
Okay. So you go on up to this.
Is there a stick near me? Can I poke it with a stick?
Sure.
It's a cactus though, so now you've got spines in your hand.
Well, no,
I said a stick!
there's some shrubs in here, so it's not a very long stick, but like, yeah, sure, you have a short stick.
Excellent.
That's fine. There's usually a stick around somewhere. It's nature. It's the outside. You poke it with this short stick, and like you feel a little bit of like shifting, but like nothing terrifying happens.
I poke it harder.
You poke it harder, and you feel a little bit more of like shifting.
I go over, I guess, and try and...
Okay, what are you doing?
There's a thing over here, and I wasn't sure if it would bite me, so I poked it with a stick, but I don't think it's gonna bite me, so I think I'm gonna brush some of the sand off of it.
It's
But
probably just a rock.
no, it doesn't feel like a rock. My shiny senses are tingling, although I'm not sure if it's shiny.
Classic rogue.
I was thinking that was an Asimir reference.
Oh no.
Your shiny sense is like you've got a vision? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's like, when you like find something of interest, your little shiny senses tingle.
But like you had a dream about it because you're a shiny person?
No, I literally just saw the dirt here was slightly different and decided to poke it with a stick.
More
Okay,
like a
we've been
magpie,
looking at
less like an
slightly
ASMR.
different dirt for the last 3 hours.
No, this dirt is really different.
Okay.
Slightly
bet-
different.
I feel like if anybody was going to notice different dirt down here, it would have been me, but, whatever.
Well, maybe you're not very good at detecting like shiny energy dirt.
Fair enough. I mean, you are the chosen one.
You're not. I am the chosen one.
Oh, today she's embracing it.
And she like
She's a
brushes
teenager.
off.
She's very mercurial.
She like brushes off the thing, like she
Mhm.
wants to know what's under there.
Yeah, you brush off the sand and you find kind of medium-sized-ish leather like bag, backpacky type dealio. And sort of at the back of it, so like what's against the sand or like still partially under the sand, it seems like there's something sort of like longer and hard that must be like, tied onto it or something, but that's still kind of under the sand.
She keeps digging.
Okay, you keep digging, and you find
If
that
I need to like pull my dagger out to like help.
it's not very deep under, right? Because it's
Okay.
tied to this. So yeah, you find strapped to this backpack, what looks like a javelin, right? Like a shaft with like kind of pointed ends. It's metal.
I told you it was shiny.
Yeah.
No one believed me.
And if Fletcher comes close with his light so that you can see in color again, you'd see that it's metal and it's painted like a deep blue, and there are very thin sort of like silver and gold zigzag patterns inlaid on the paint.
I told you, Cedric, it was shiny. I told you my shiny senses tingled, and you'd had no faith in the chosen one.
As I walk over there, I see the like shaft of the javelin. Oh, is it a morning star?
No, it has a pointy end.
Oh, I couldn't see because you were in the way.
I'm sorry you're so bitter. I don't know, I guess she like picks it up. Is there anything in the bag?
Yeah, that's when you were poking it, you could feel something sort of shifting, and you even heard a little bit of like things knocking together or like clinking against one another. So there's definitely
maybe there's another tent in the bag.
there's stuff in the bag. Yeah.
I guess she like pulls the javelin out and also opens up the bag. She really just wants to turn it upside down and like have everything fall out. But then she like thought about Fletcher and how he always carries glass vials, and like maybe that's not a good idea because the glass would break, and also maybe it would explode. And she doesn't really want Fletcher to get mad at her, so she just looks in it.
Wow.
Canonically, you say all this out loud, right?
Yes.
That sounds very much just like.
Even if she doesn't, you can see the wheels
can
turning.
hear
as
the
she
wheels
like
turning.
goes to pick it
Yeah.
up
She like
and then
looks at the
back
she
down.
like has the bag. She's about to do this to it, and then like looks at Fletcher and like, looks at the bag and just goes and like opens it.
Fletcher,
at all
you have
that
so much
personal
influence
growth.
in this group.
Careful, there could be one of those like stabby tail bugs in there.
Stabby.
You know, you can
tail.
look in it too, Cedric. You don't have to be so bitter about it.
No, good job fighting it.
Thanks.
All right, Kay. So inside this bag, after taking a moment to sort of root around in it, I'm assuming you might put it down on the ground so you can sort of move your hands through all the contents. You find...
She like pulls them out on the sand.
I was going to say Cindy got ready with her pencil. Good job. You find 300 silver pieces and 50 gold
More
pieces.
shiny things. I told you my shiny senses are on point.
What was all
Sorry,
that
I
jingling?
lost the
Was that
back
your
half
dice?
of that. 300
No, it was my
silver
knife. I'm
and-
mixing my tea with a knife because I don't know where my spoons are. I'm having a day. But the ADHD is very strong today. I'm not sure if you can tell.
It's fine. It's good. The
Nancy,
tea isn't a
sometimes I
mug,
just want to
though.
like come take care of you.
Send her a spoon. The tea's in a mug, not in a measuring cup.
I mean,
so-
I just bought extra spoons.
Right.
I have 4. I have enough. I just don't know. Like 2 of them are in these cups that are dirty. And so, you know,
Yeah,
that
That was the thing. Like, I'd use them. Like, the spoons get dirtier at a faster rate than the rest, so I just bought more spoons.
Mhm.
I don't own my spoons. I don't own anything in this apartment, so
I feel like this conversation is a metaphor for something because it's about spoons. But anyway.
Yeah.
um,
Okay, so 300 silver.
300 silver pieces and 50 gold pieces. Good grief.
so many shiny things.
And several shiny stones.
Told you, shiny senses.
You
I
find-
felt it.
Hey, pass me those stones. Let's see if I recognize them.
Give them the racks. So you definitely recognize the first ones. You find 5 pieces of obsidian, because you've already seen quite a bit of that, and you watched Koi lap some a knife.
And I failed to lap.
And you
some.
failed to lap an arrow point or something. So yeah, you're familiar with what obsidian looks like. You also find one beautiful, clear, teal-colored gem. It's very pretty. And you find 3 pieces of stone that they appear to be the same kind of stone, although each one of them is unique and individual. It's milky, bright green with some sort of subtle or, like blended out white veinations running through it.
These are very pretty. These are very shiny rocks. What do you know about them, Cedric?
What do I know about the DM?
You know what to do. Do what you do, dwarf.
Is this an appraise check, actually? What is this?
Yeah, I think that's, yeah.
Okay. Don't recognize these. Must be some Arda-only rocks. Definitely a gemstone of some kind.
That's definitely how minerals work.
I can't use an appraise check either because he just used it, right?
You can try. You wouldn't like he has a bonus to it for identifying rocks, so like your your DC will be harder because
Well, I'll try. I accidentally just closed roll 20, so hold on. Excuse me. I'm taking a really good look at these rocks. I licked one of them.
Your appraise check is a +7. Wow.
Yeah, what? I'm a shop owner.
Wow.
I'm a shop owner.
Wow.
I know shiny stuff when I see it.
Okay.
Except for today, of course, when I only got a 12.
Yeah, you're not really sure either. They're very pretty. You like them a lot, especially this teal colored one it's so clear.
This teal colored one is like, it kind of goes with my theme.
Yeah.
Yeah, it matches your face sparkles a little bit.
Yeah, right, that's what I was saying.
It matches your face.
He said face sparkles.
I know,
they do match my face sparkles.
Yeah, so that's what you find half buried in the sand is a bag with some stuff in it.
Money, gems, and a javelin.
Treasure.
A shiny javelin. Is the shiny javelin like useful, or is it like a selling kind of shiny javelin?
That's up to you. It is a javelin.
Does the shiny do the markings on it look anything like stuff we've seen at either of the 2 camps?
Oh, you mean like whether it's like crafted by one of those peoples?
Yeah.
Not specifically. It's sort of a generic-y pattern. But it's like really very nicely painted. And again, it's a metal javelin, so it's like good quality. And like oddly, for being in a place with so much erosion and being buried in sand, the paint doesn't seem to be scratched or mussed in anywhere. Like the paint job seems pristine.
Like, does it look more like a ceremonial javelin, or does it look like someone actually may have stabbed someone with it? Or speared?
Make a search check for gore? I don't know.
All right. I'm going to do a search check for gunk. I'm taking a real good look at it.
Yeah.
Where is my search? Probably into the assets. All right. We're gonna a 17? 9.
5, 6, 17. You
17.
Okay.
9 plus 8 is 17.
Okay, you don't find like viscera or whatever dried on it. But like
but I mean, like if it was ceremonial, it wouldn't have like any markings or anything on it. But if it was used, it like might have hit a rock or like bone or something and not been pristine.
You don't find any marks, scuffs, whatever on it. But like as you're holding it, it feels very well balanced. Like you could throw it. Because I believe a javelin is a simple weapon that anybody should be able to use. But also like the points are extremely sharp. So like it even though you don't see any like marks on it at all, it seems like it is probably a useful weapon.
Can I keep this?
How like worn and weathered is the bag?
It is pretty beat up. It's probably been here for a while.
Like, it looks like it's been out here a while, but the javelin's pristine.
Yeah. What's that?
So much
grin?
nodding happening here.
Yeah, there's a lot of nodding.
There's probably something special about that javelin. If it was, seems like presumably put out here the same time as that bag that looks like it's about to fall apart. I think that's something we should keep.
Should I throw it and see if it explodes or something?
Maybe when we're not in the canyon.
Oh, that's a good idea. See, this is why I ask you the questions, because you do the thinking that I was too dumb to do.
Yeah, let's not bury ourselves in crumbling sandstone like Cedric almost did to himself earlier.
Hey, that was a good idea, and you guys know it.
It was a great idea. The execution needed
I don't have any like chisels or like the proper size mallets. I mean, my warhammer's just not super good at sculpting stone.
Yeah, the stonework really left something to be desired with that.
It's not my fault. It's my tools.
I'm sorry, I'm making noise. I was looking at a book.
Only the shoddy craftsman blames his tools.
Ooh,
That's a good phrase. I've never heard that.
that's a good proverb.
I puts the shiny javelin on her back. She's very excited about it.
Okay, you do that.
It's so shiny, guys. It also matches my face sparkles.
I feel like I tend to keep all the little jumbles of things and nothing that heavy, so I'll take the stones.
And the money, you're our banker.
And the money. I figured that's just anything we find is group money, and I just assume that I put it into the the group supply.
At this point, that's probably the most heavy thing that any of us has carried.
The money.
It's like
And
I don't know what 50 gold pieces weighs, but I bet it's a lot.
Probably.
And we just don't worry about that.
Nope.
Magic. Everybody has a magic coin purse.
I mean,
It would be the first thing that would be invented, you'd think, right?
What?
Think about how much change merchants would have. They'd have to have a bag of money holding.
That does make sense. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So the bank is.
Yeah, right.
All right. But yeah, so you
Just imagining the mechanics a very small bag of holding, a small.
It's only for money. Try to put something else in and it just spits it back out.
Can you use it as a weapon? You load some rocks in there and point it at people and shoots rocks out. Aw, that'd be such a fun magic item. Imagine how many times we get hit in the face, especially Fletcher.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right. But you tried to put counterfeit money in it, and it's not technically money, so it spits it back out. That would be the real. That's where the high end ones only. Yeah.
That's a good idea. I like that. Okay. Yeah. So you found this bag of stuff. And
shiny things. I would just like to point out how right I was.
That's true. Everything in the bag was shiny.
Everything was shiny.
Except
literally everything.
Except the bag itself. Yeah.
But the javelin was attached to it, and that was shiny.
That's true. It is. Yeah. So you find that, and like I said, that it's the maze has definitely opened up at this point, and you feel very proud of yourselves that you have successfully navigated your way through without coming to any harm. And you can see open desert beyond these last few sort of pillars and boulders and things. It is very late into the night. I don't know if you feel like resting or if you would like to continue. But that is the point where you are at right now, I guess.
Do we see anything with the view opening up now? Do we see anything around us that indicate or be the remains of people who may have also come through here and camped afterwards? Tracks, campfire. Are there any signs out here now that it's open?
Make a perception check.
I was going to say if the wind has died down, I could actually pop up and do a broader view.
Mm-hmm.
23.
Wow. Well, within the scope of
13
what
for
you
me.
can see in the darkness. And what did you say?
13.
And 13. So yeah, Fletcher sort of perceives the immediate area with your lantern, and Nautia hops up because yes, the wind, I mean, you're still sort of in this, you can't get super high yet. You're going to have to get a little distance away from this area to where the wind presumably will die down like it did on the other side. But you try to get a broader area view. But neither of you really sees anything all that interesting from what you can see here. But you are out the other side, which is a very nice feeling.
It's getting late and a little chilly. Do we want to set up
Sleep?
camp and sleep until morning, get whatever rest we can?
Yeah, how did we take a full? We didn't take a long rest earlier. Like, we just camped for a couple of hours, right?
I mean, the resting thing is sort of here because you're sort of like resting in chunks, but we don't have like what is a long rest or whatever. But like, yeah, you sort of like rested in like the hottest part of the afternoon. And then yeah, you had been doing this sort of like resting in the like the coldest part of the night, and then also in like the hottest part of the day. So yeah, you're sort of splitting up your long rest, as it were, but I'm counting it about the same. It's fine. But your spells still renew at whatever time of the day they renew. As long as you have done that sort of like coldest part of the night rest, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, then it might be worth getting a little bit further from the stone teeth to get to where there's less wind,
But it's defensible. We could hole up in one of those dead-end slot canyons, and at least we wouldn't be able to be attacked from more than one side.
yeah, that's a good idea.
When we're in the tents, we shouldn't really feel any of the wind anymore down on the ground.
That's a good point. Okay, so that's the plan, is to camp in a little dead-endy rock cave or cul-de-sac or whatever. Okay. So you do that. Anybody doing anything special while you're in camp, or we're snoozling and then waking up again? Yeah. Okay.
Snoozling.
Yeah.
What?
Yep.
Okay.
Just go ahead.
Okay, yeah, so you take a bit of a rest and you wake up again sort of in that like, just before dawn sort of time, pack up your tents, eat a little bit of something, I assume, and get ready to start traveling again. So what is your plan now? You feel like, from the way you were traveling when the sun was last up and, sort of watching the moon and the stars and stuff, you feel like you've come out the side of the stone teeth more or less sort of, west from where you entered. So you made more or less a straight cut through it, which is nice. But yeah, now that you're at the other side, what is your plan?
We weren't given any guidance beyond people going into the stone teeth, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they said they thought they saw a figure, maybe two figures. They're not sure because they were far away. And they presumed that those people would not stay within the area of the stone teeth because it sucks in there, as you guys have just experienced. So they assumed that those people were probably traveling through it to the other side.
Nadia, has the wind died down enough for you to go up and to see if you can see something off in the distance now that the sun's starting to come up?
Yeah, I can walk out and try that again.
Mm-hmm.
Stupid dice. Why?
Because you insulted
16?
them.
16. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me look here. So you do your little pop-up, and again, it's still dim in this pre-dawn light, right? Like, you can look behind you, and the eastern horizon is just sort of starting to have a teeny bit of light to it. So you're still working with this, like, mostly grayscale vision. You pop up, and with your 16, you look around, and you see something sort of, like, off to, like, your northwest-ish a little that looks kind of strange. Like, it's hard to tell, and again, like, it's an object that's partially covered by sand, you think, from the way you're looking at it, but, like, I don't know, it seems a little strange. A little out of place on the landscape. Like, it doesn't look like the other, like, rocks and cacti and whatever.
And how far away?
Probably, like, 200 yards. So it's, like, close-ish, but,
Okay.
you know, yeah.
Yeah, I would point it out to the group and say we should go check that out.
Looks good to me.
Okay, no visions or anything like that in the night.
Nope.
All right. Well, next time you have one, maybe tell the group.
Yeah, sorry about that. I didn't realize you'd be so grumpy about it.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of important group knowledge.
Do you tell everyone about your dreams?
Yes, actually. So I had this one last night where we were all loaves of bread, and
Cedric just told a lie.
I start walking toward the thing.
Or did you tell them about that dream?
wait, about which dream?
The dream that I gave you on stream.
Oh, no, I didn't tell you that.
Tell Cedric just
I
told a
didn't
lie.
tell them that. Yeah.
That's neat. You guys don't know that he lied, but I do now. That's fun. Okay. Any hoozle. Yeah, what you doing? Are you going towards this mysterious lump in the sand?
Yeah, we might as well follow our only lead, even if we get there and just look around again and see where to go next.
Yeah. Yeah, so you get maybe like 50-ish feet away, because, like, again, it's, it's on the ground, so it's hard to see from a distance. But yeah, you get 50-ish feet away, and, like, oh, that's weird. It looks kind of like there's something sort of, like, moving a bit in the wind on it, almost like, is that a piece of clothing, maybe? Like, is that a person lying there in the sand? You're not sure, but, like, ooh.
Now I have a fancy stick to poke things with.
Maybe it's this person's fancy stick.
I don't know. Well, I'm going to poke him with it.
Nancy, please don't poke someone with a magic javelin.
So, Kay, are you...
Nautia won't know to tell you not to do.
I mean, I don't think Kay would think not to do it. She just thinks it's a shiny stick.
Kay, are you going to walk up and poke it?
Is it moving?
I mean, like I said, it looks like there's a fluttering of, like, what looks like a scrap of clothing, fluttering in the wind kind of thing, but, like, the figure, the object isn't moving.
Yeah, she pokes it with the javelin.
All right.
Not very hard, because the javelin, like, it's, like, pointy, so she's not, like,
you
stabbing
don't even
it.
get to that point, because as you walk towards it, and you didn't ask to look at it again before you walked up to poke it, as you walk towards it, you realize it's not a corpse, because it's sort of, like, open like a puffball would, except it's not a mushroom, it's some sort of weird cactus, and it this big cloud of spores. Did anybody follow her?
Yeah, I'm probably pretty close behind.
Yeah, okay, so it this big cloud of spores.
It's a puffball.
In like a 25-foot radius around it, so like a lot of spores. And I need anybody who was that close to this, not a corpse, to make a fortitude save, please. Oops. Sarah says stick upgrade.
Stick upgrade.
I'm like debating whether I would have followed closely or not.
I got a 25.
Wow,
I think
okay.
I would have.
I got a 23.
Said fortitude?
On fortitude? Holy crap!
Yeah, I rolled a 19 and I have 4.
Wow, Nautia.
All of my dice are rolling twos today.
Oh, I'm so
10.
sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, that sucks, because this was definitely Kay's recklessness, but she doesn't take any damage.
And I just followed.
So Kay and Cedric, you get close, but like you're close on the ground, so you see it sort of starts to like it swells for a moment right before the happens, and so the two of you are able to sort of like duck your faces out of the way and like hold your breath, but Nautia wasn't really paying attention as she's flying sort of behind you. So Nautia, you will take some spore damage. Oh wow, aren't you lucky? That was 2 1s. You will take 2 spore damage.
2 is my number today, I guess.
Yep. 2 spore damage, and ooh, that was less good. 2 spore damage and 3 points of damage to your Constitution score. Oops.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Ow.
Which definitely drops your modifier by something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, team. It's apparently like a mushroom thing. You think we would have learned from Gary, but I did not learn. Apparently, it's very excited to poke it with the stick.
Yeah, it's a weird, like, it's something, like, it's got a lot of, like, the defensive characteristics and, like, morphological characteristics of a cactus, but it just released some sort of, like, spore or toxin cloud, so you're not really sure what exactly it is, but that's what it did, and it was not a corpse. It was not a person.
Did it like refurl back in, or is it like trap has been sprung now kind of thing?
It's kind of like a trap has been sprung kind of thing, but it does, like, it, you know, if you want to go up and sort of investigate it more closely now, like, it's definitely some sort of living plant, mushroom, something. Yeah, it's definitely growing out of the sand.
Yeah, I want to go over there and look at it a little bit closer.
You should taste it. That seems to be your specialty.
I was thinking about kicking it first, honestly.
I'm going to back up. Kaylee backs out of the 25-foot range.
I was thinking about kicking it, but then I thought maybe it would release some more of that like gas or whatever it released.
It's not any worse than your gas.
What was that sound?
Hey, we've been eating nothing but jerky for days, all right?
Oh.
Not my fault.
Man. Camping is rough on your intestines, kids. All right, well, that's a thing that happened. Are you kicking it, or are you just looking at it?
I'm just looking.
Just looking. Okay, yeah, that's a thing that happened.
Yeah, is it like splayed open, like a balloon that like popped and is like laying there, or is it still formed?
So like the as you get up on it, you see it does have sort of like limbs. You know, it looks like it's got like 2 arms and 2 legs like laying in the sand. So it does look, you know, convincingly like a corpse until you get pretty close to it. But yeah, like where the quote unquote back of the corpse would have been is sort of open now a little bit. Yeah. So think like, you know, chest burster or whatever.
Yeah. But like a mimic, like a humanoid lure, and then. Yeah, that's a cool carnivorous plant.
Yeah. This is called the Swollen Corpse. And I'm trying to remember where I found it. I think it was from the Horrific Herbarium again.
That's so cool.
I'm not sure if that's where it's from. I wrote this a while ago, but yeah.
Yeah, the like little flutter, like mimicking, like, I don't know, it reminds me of like the turtles and things like that that'll like pretend to be a worm with their tongue. Yeah, the worm,
like the tongue. Yeah. The description literally says it's a large cactus that looks like a humanoid corpse wearing tattered brown clothing. So I thought that was very clever.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Because that's, so, like, I don't know if I've said this before, but I certainly think about it a lot, that, like, a lot of traditional or classic D&D games and settings are very, like, medieval Europe, so it's a lot of, like, deep dark forests, and then, like, cute little towns and hamlets, and, like, occasionally a lake or a river or something, but, like, you know, Arda has everything, and so trying to plumb the depths of all of the D&D supplement books to find challenges for environments that are not that sort of medieval Europe setting has been really interesting and fun and challenging, and I did... like I said, I had a whole list of things that could happen to you in the Stone Teeth if if or when you failed steps, and some of them I sort of just had to, like, make up stuff for, because there isn't a lot of sort of like desert focused challenges, but you didn't get to experience all of them, so that's unfortunate. But we used the swollen corpse, so that was fun. Dana. All right, well, your eyes have been bamboozled. Now what?
Sure you didn't have any dreams, Kay?
Oh, gosh.
It'd be really handy right now.
Didn't you have any dreams? You're the one who talks to God.
Yeah, I told you I had that dream about the bread, but I don't think that means anything. And I mean, I prayed this morning, but I mean, in my lifetime, Morden's never really spoken back, so didn't get anything useful out of that. I mean, I got useful meditative time, and it was a time to center myself and grow as a person, but I didn't get any feedback that is relevant to our current mission.
I haven't gotten anything either. I'm sorry.
Oh man, they have to figure it out for themselves this time. Darn.
Okay, so looking around, all right, so we've come straight through the teeth.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking around.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we continue to go straight west, what do we see?
You can continue moving in that direction and somebody can perceive again.
Well, just like in the distance. Is it just flat, or is there mountains?
So looks similar, like it's desert that looks similar to the desert that you were, moving through on the other side. But yes, you do see in the distance, in the west, that the land slowly slopes upwards, and there's a little bit of, sort of like sand duney, hilly type terrain, it looks like. And then in the, the farther distance, there is in fact that mountain range that you've been told about, and you have seen it occasionally at other points as well. So yeah, you knew it was there. But I think you are closer to it now than you have been since you were sort of with the Myconids. Because when you were with them, you were sort of in like the low foothills before the sort of like southernmost reaches of this mountain range.
So we've been traveling parallel to this mountain range since the Myconids. And now
since you did science at the river in the abandoned camp. Because you sort of like the Myconids, and then you sort of continued following the bank of the river, and you met Barika and helped her with her problem. You continued following the bank of the river until you got to the spot where the sort of like the pollution seemed to be, entering, and you did all of that sort of discovery, and then you decided to head straight north. So at that point, you started moving more or less obviously the mountain range is not a perfectly straight north-south line, but like more or less parallel to the mountains. Yeah.
Okay, so we headed north until we got to the Scorpion Folk camp, and then we turned west to head to the Teeth, and we've been heading west into the mountains since then.
Yeah, more or less. Yeah, like you sort of like you headed north, and then you saw the lights of the Thrycreen festival, and so you headed sort of like northeast, and then you headed sort of like northwest to get to the temple, and then you headed a little more northwest to get to the Scorpion Folk camp, and then you headed a little like southwest to get to the Stone Teeth, and now you've gone west-west.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ryan.
Honestly, I was kind of hoping we'd see something on the other side of those Stone Teeth.
I mean, I was too. I don't think we just like went through the jaws of death for nothing.
I guess we continue on in this direction.
You're very good at doing things without clear answers. So, in a testament to fate.
Sees something.
Yeah, I'll pop up and try one more time. 16 again.
Okay. So it takes you a while. You sort of like you look and you sort of like continue flying as the group just sort of wanders for a bit, and you wander for like, like an hour and a half more. So at this point the sun is up, which does make the visibility a little easier for you, Nautia. And as the sun is rising and you're continuing to scan the landscape and feeling a little dejected because you were like really hoping that you would just like, the answer would be upon you when you came out the other side of the stone teeth, you do see something eventually. You find, again, it's a little far off, so you'll have to fly to it, but a mound of soil, rock, sand. It looks different than the other sand dunes that you've, flown over or anything like that. It doesn't look like any of the natural features of the landscape that you've become familiar with.
Is it just Nadia seeing it, or does all of us?
It's still a little distant, so she sees it first because she's flying up. But if she sort of moves you all in that direction, eventually you would see it as well.
Yeah, I'll let the rest of you know there's something over there.
Yeah, it just seems like slightly the wrong shape and or texture of material. It doesn't look like the normal sand dunes.
And so as we get closer, does it also seem like the dunes are usually like the prevailing winds kind of like carves all the shapes of the dunes and stuff? Does it seem like it's just like stuck there? Like it is not following the same pattern as the others and things? Like it's just like it's like, why is it formed like this?
I'm not remembering the correct term for this shape right now, but one of you ag people will surely be able to help me out. If it's like a long triangle shaped, like
a windrow?
A conglomeration of soil. I don't know. I was trying to think if there was a word that started with F that described the shape. But yeah, basically
a furrow?
Furrow?
I think that's what I was thinking.
That would be
of, yeah.
the like.
Oh, okay, that's in. But it's the opposite
down,
of
yeah.
that. So
opposite furrow.
It's like an accumulation of soil and rock and sand that's a more or less triangle-y type shape, but it's long, right? So it's not like a sand dune that sort of has like a curved top. It's not like perfectly pointed, but it seems more. It was not formed by erosion. And it's this sort of like long, more or less straight line of it, which is weird.
Does it look like you said the what it's made out of looks different than the surrounding soil and everything like that. Does it look like mine tailings or something like that I would recognize as?
It kind of does. It looks like there's a lot of stuff that probably came from deeper underground. That's why it looked like a weird texture to Nautia, because it's not the smoothed over surface material that you've been seeing everywhere else in these natural formations. This looks like it's like chunks of things that were from farther underground. There's a lot more like rock chunks and stuff.
I spend 8 minutes explaining that to all of them.
Aren't we also lucky that it was
that's
not
probably
9?
From the bedrock, and that's from the.
These basalt characteristics are only found below 200 meters. Yeah. But I have no idea why they'd be here in the middle of the desert.
Would you like to get closer?
Yes.
The only way to know is to go to them. Seems like somebody had to bring them up to the surface.
Underground. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it sounds like you get closer.
Let's walk.
Yeah. What would
absolutely.
How close would you like to get? Would you like to how would you like to get closer, I guess?
I mean, I'm looking for an entrance to a mine because I've made this assumption, but unless I see, so I'm like looking around, but unless I see something, I'm going to keep walking until I get to them.
Okay. Yeah, so give me the search check as you're walking to them, around them, whatever.
It's a 15.
Okay, yeah, so you walk closer to them and sort of, get to this weird, line of tailings, and sort of walk along it and then sort of, around the end of it, and so now you're on the western side of it, and, you keep looking, and eventually you find, it's so weird, but just, in the ground, there's, a wooden trapdoor in a little wooden frame.
Would you like to poke it with the stick?
I don't know that we want to poke it right away. I feel like I've read that there are some characters in books that would check for traps before poking a door. I don't know if that's something that we could try. Maybe.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Wow. She just pokes. That's how she checks for traps.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you're doing that, can I lick the rocks and see if I can figure out what kind of ore might have been extracted here or something like that?
Kill me.
Gotta taste the soil to see.
Who's going first?
You were prepared last time.
Do I just do a search check for the...
Yes, search is for checking for traps.
11.
This trapdoor does not appear to be actually trapped or locked. It's a trapdoor in the sense that it's in the ground, not in that you see any traps on it. Yeah. I realized that was bad phrasing.
Trapdoor is called a trap?
I don't know. I realized it was a bad name for the door as I was saying it. It is a door that you presume either opens up or down and would probably lead to some sort of, entrance into the ground. It's not,
Kay tries to pry it open with the stick.
It opens.
Doesn't it appear trapped? This is your territory. This is underground. I ain't going in there until you do.
Is it constructed going down? Because it's it's in the sand. So a hole in the sand would just fill with sand. So does it look like it is built down out of timber or something to keep the sand out? Or
are you looking? You're looking down?
Yeah.
I'm gonna assume
we're
all
around
four of us heads are poking,
okay.
looking down.
That's what I am.
So everybody with dark vision, and even the sun is coming up. So Fletcher, you can probably make this out as well. So you look through the open door, and there is a square wooden chute that descends vertically, and there appears to be a ladder attached to one of the four walls.
You should throw something down there.
And those of you with dark vision, you can see that the chute descends about 50 feet before ending on what looks like a sandstone floor.
You should throw something down there anyway.
Throw some of these tailings down there.
Put them back where they came from.
I mean, we're surrounded by chunks of rock. Might as well.
Yeah, throw a rock down there.
Because then at least we're not down there if there's someone down there who suddenly realizes somebody's around. Instead, we're all the way up here.
Okay.
Yep.
So you're dropping
Plus,
a rock.
if they're complying with appropriate guidelines set out by the Dwarven Kingdom, they're all wearing our hats. So if they're not, it's on them. Something falls on them and crushes them.
Somehow we got back to Fantasy OSHA. That was a thing back in the temple. Oh man.
Hey, Fantasy OSHA is everywhere.
Hopefully whoever's down there is wearing their Fantasy NIOSH approved respirators.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, oh gosh, yeah. The gases down there can be terrible.
Should be
And so
wearing
we're
at
gonna
least
go
a
down
P99.
I'm sure we'll be fine. I brought my respirator. Did you guys not bring your respirators?
There's
Cindy,
no
throw your
respirator
bird down
in
there.
your inventory. Get out of here.
Nadia, throw your bird down there. See if it comes back up.
I imagine you're just taking it by the feet and just throwing it.
Oh.
Don't do that to the bird.
That's not how birds work.
But they are really aerodynamic.
I think that is peak nature tech right there. That's not how birds work. Yeah, we're an educational science communicating.
And so far we've said birds are weird, and that's not how birds work.
They are weird.
You're trying to throw an eagle down a hole. It's gotta be real busy.
foot and like throw it down. And if it comes back up, then we know that there's probably not any gases down there because I definitely don't have my OSHA approved mask. So, and then if it passes out, then it will be on the rope so we can bring it back up and rescue it.
Broader than the hole.
If only it was a canary.
It's like a glorified canary. It has wings and feet. They're like practically the same color. They're both yellow.
Wow, okay.
It's an eagle.
This is like one of those, like, how much do entomologists know about birds moments? Like,
birds are birds.
It's true.
That's not
There's
how
only a
birds
couple
work.
dozen
It's definitely
bird
the name of
species.
this episode, by the way. Oh,
Anyway,
boy.
if you don't want to use your bird, someone can just go down and volunteer as tribute. Maybe Cedric, because he has his mask.
Yep. Also,
I've already gotten hurt once this morning. I'm done.
Imagine if your bird was there.
wait, did we drop the rock down the hole or not?
I don't know, did you?
Yeah, we totally did.
I feel like you're just like four stooges standing around the top of this, like arguing with one another and yelling into the hole.
Yep. That is literally
Okay.
exactly what is happening.
So somebody is dropping a rock down there?
I mean, I feel bad about this.
Kay
I was
drops a
raised-
rock down there.
Kay drops a rock.
Yeah,
down
just
there.
throw a rock.
What were you going to say, Cedric?
Just, when you grow up in a mine, you're taught mine safety, and, dropping rocks down holes is bad safety. Just all I'm
Kay
saying.
drops another rock down the hole
Okay,
after
Kay
Cedric says that.
Kay drops 2 rocks down in the hole, and you hear them thunk against the bottom, and you see them thunk against the bottom because it's dark vision. Yeah.
Oh, so we can see all the way to the bottom.
Yes, those of you
Yeah,
with
it's like
dark
50
vision can see it's about a 50-foot drop, so it's just within your dark vision span, stretch, whatever. But again, like, the sun is up now, so like there's a little bit of actual light in the hole as well.
So then so the rocks hit, and then you like listen to see if there's anything that like responds to those rocks being dropped down there.
Okay, roll me perception checks.
Another 16.
That's just your number.
I used a different die. I've been using different dice, and they all keep coming to an 8.
It was meant to be. Anybody else?
17.
Ooh. Cedric, are you listening?
Nope.
Nope. Okay.
I'll listen.
You'll listen.
Back. I will throw my
You
die
will
on the
not
floor.
listen.
So Cedric is right next to us, and he just has his fingers in his ears to just not listen.
I'm thinking about mine safety, you guys. It's taking
distracted.
100% of my concentration. Yeah.
My die fell on the floor and it was a natural 20, so I'm assuming that was fate.
You don't get to use rolls on the floor. Also, it was a drop, not an intentional roll. Nice try.
Fine, I got a 17 plus
Okay.
whatever my perception is like
Oh, wow.
9 or
Okay.
something.
Yeah, so you all listen for a moment. How long would you like to listen?
7. Until I hear something.
Okay.
At least 10 seconds, like trying to just like.
Okay, yeah.
I got
so you listen, 24, yeah. You listen. You don't hear anything.
All right.
Hello! She shouts into the tube.
Okay, you do that.
Does it echo?
A little bit, I guess. Yeah. Like it's
Ooh,
wood,
doesn't
so it's
echo.
not like, you know.
So Cedric
There's
was
rock
like
on the bottom.
about to step like onto the first step of the ladder as Kay did that, and now he's just like paused. And he's just like, can I go now?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna go down.
Okay. You're gonna head down the ladder. Is anybody heading down the ladder after him?
Watch
You
it what
let-
happens.
You let us know if you start feeling dizzy, okay?
Yep, I'm familiar with mine safety protocol number 43.
Okay, cool.
Cindy just puts her head up. All right, so the three of you are staying up here on the surface, and Cedric is heading down the ladder.
I'm gonna be super careful. Like I don't know how old this ladder is. I don't know how old this trapdoor is. So I'm like double checking every step as I go down. Like put my weight on it, put my weight on it again, put my weight on it again. Like before I'm like ready to go to the next one to like make sure it doesn't like collapse beneath me.
Okay. Give me a. It sounds like you're searching. So give me a search check as you make your way down the ladder.
Okay. 14.
Okay. Yeah, so you're being very careful and you're taking it one rung at a time and just sort of, making your way down. And again, the sun is up, but it's not like straight overhead, right? So eventually you sort of make your way out of the part that's, illuminated by the angle of the sun and make your way down into the darkness. And you get to about the 40-foot down mark, and I need you to make a reflex save.
Ooh, okay. $21.
Wow, okay. Yeah, so that's very good. Very dexy. So you put your foot on one of the rungs at about this point, and just as you're like, yeah, this seems good, and start to put your weight on it, all of a sudden, something clicks, and then all of a sudden you realize that every single rung has split in half, and you have just, like, grabbed on, and are just, like, hanging there by your two hands on the sides of the ladder as all of the rungs have split, and you just barely did not fall.
Kay, like, takes her rope, like, ties it around her waist and, like, throws it down the hole. And, like, sits very, like, firmly on the ground.
Okay, so clearly, just to paint a picture, here's what happens. The steps fall. I am holding on to only the side rungs of the ladder, and then about 4 seconds later, a rope hits me in the face.
Yes!
Cedric, grab onto it!
Morgan's beard! I can't grab onto it. I'm holding up my own weight with my hands.
Yeah,
what am I
but
supposed to grab onto
the
it with
but
my
just
teeth?
No, like move one of your hands and hold on to the rope so you don't fall.
Just slide the rest of the way down.
I will fly down.
How far am I from
I will
the bottom?
fly down.
Okay. Naughty will
Just
fly
shimmy down.
Cedric, you're about 10 feet off the floor.
Yeah, I'm gonna drop.
Okay, you're gonna drop. Give me a, what is that? That's a tumble check. Because you're intentionally falling, so you can do a tumble check to reduce the damage.
Okay. It's a 14.
Okay.
With a -3, I just want to make sure everybody knows that.
That's pretty good. So you will only take 3 points of fall damage.
Cool.
I told you to grab onto the rope.
My hands were full.
You tried to do like a superhero landing, and you just like didn't quite nail it, so you sort of like twist something a little bit, a little ouchy, but like you're on the ground, no real harm done. And Nautia is down there with you now, it sounds like.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm like, I could. Okay.
Okay. 2 things that I want to know about the place that we are in. The first is the rungs on the ladder. Are they spaced apart in a way that would imply that they were built for someone of dwarven stature or someone of freakishly large stature?
That's an interesting question. What sort of...
Just like how far apart, like are they close together for people with normal shaped legs, or are they like really far apart?
Yeah, give me an intelligence check.
I mean, was it difficult for you to climb down them or not?
$18.
It was pretty easy for you to climb down, Cedric.
Okay. And then the other thing is just kind of a general, like, looking around. Okay, I'm at the base of this shaft, and now I can see the mine. Is that, or is there a tunnel leading away? What do I see?
Well, if you look at roll 20, you will be able to see a little bit of something.
No.
Oh my gosh, I see one tiny square.
All right, so you should be able to see that now. So you can see there is a narrow tunnel leading away from you through the darkness.
A long narrow tunnel. Okay. My second question is, how well constructed is this tunnel? Would Cedric feel like is this dwarven make, or is this subpar shoddy mine building?
Oh boy.
You could do an appraise check on the quality of the stone.
Well, it's not like you're not trying to find out like its value or like identify it. I think this is probably another intelligence check.
Okay. It's only an 11.
It's kind of hard to tell. It's not like incredibly like you're like this is. I mean, like I think I can walk down this, but you're like it seems not. It's not perfect, but you don't know if that's a construction flaw or if it's the material because again, like you said, you haven't really worked with sandstone, so
Sure.
yeah, it doesn't. It's not the most beautiful tunnel you've ever seen. No.
Okay. I take a couple of deep breaths to try and evaluate the quality of the air down here.
Okay.
Because that's why they sent me first. Like,
Okay.
like does it taste bad? Like, does it smell?
Okay. Perception check.
Not that I can smell actual natural gas, but I'm just trying to see. 26.
Wow. I mean, it smells like a mine. It's like you're not hit with a wave of anything toxic. It just, yeah, it smells kind of homey, honestly, right? Like it smells like underground. It's a little cooler down here. It's, musty, not necessarily like damp. Like, I grew up going into caves in Pennsylvania where it's very wet inside, and it's certainly not like that, but, it's an underground space, but no, it doesn't seem like there's anything especially threatening that you can smell, see, hear.
Nadia, do you feel okay down here? I don't notice anything harmful. I feel like it's probably safe to tell Fletcher and Kay to come down.
Can I just do like a perception check and just see if anything seems...
Yeah.
Yeah.
16.
Aha!
Oh.
That's a big 19.
Oh, yeah, similar to Cedric, like it's a little musty down here. It's a little cooler than it was up above. Like it feels more like the desert did at night, right? Like it's a little cooler. And yeah, you listen and you don't really hear anything right now.
There's nothing that really catches my eye that looks out of place.
No. I mean, you're not really an underground type person, but
yeah,
like, no, you don't see anything super skeevy. Yeah.
Okay.
The ladder.
I guess.
The ladder.
Good. Sorry, Nadia, you were about to say something. I was not paying attention.
I was. Yeah, I was actually thinking that. Did it just like? What does the break look like? Does it look like it was intentional or like a...
What rung are you looking at?
I mean, the whole thing split, right?
Yeah, every single... So what happened, like I said, Cedric, like, put his weight on... Or, like, he stepped on one rung, and then, like, as he put his weight on it, something clicked, and then all of a sudden, every rung split in half.
And are they all, like, split in the same spot?
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks...
Like a trap?
Yeah. That looks intentional, I think.
He only asked me about the door.
Do you see any way to reset it?
I mean, I can try to look at it, but I do not think I will do well at that. What would that...
Is disabled device something you need to be trained in to use? I don't remember.
Yes,
off the top of my head.
And I do not have it.
Okay, then you.
And because it is int-based, I have a penalty.
I was gonna say if you don't have disabled device, it would just be an intelligence
Nope.
check, and it would be harder.
I mean, I can try.
I could take a look
Just
at
try.
it. I could take a look at it. She
You
shouts.
can't
down the
take a
hall.
look at it because you can't get down here to look at it.
I have a rope. I'll tie it to Fletcher and then climb down the rope.
Oh my god.
Fletcher's not
Or we
strong
could
enough to
tie it
hold
to any of the
himself up.
large rocks up here.
Yeah. Like I said, we'll tie
Fletcher's
it to
been
Fletcher.
voluntold to be an anchor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
How was
Fletcher
your-
just plank across the top of the hole and while the kid.
How was your intelligence check?
Yeah, I mean, if you want me to look at it, just let me know. But if you don't want me to look at it, it's
Yeah,
fine.
okay. Yeah, I mean, I can look at it before we. Well, I rolled a 13. Minus 2 is 11.
Like you're looking at it and you're like, well, yeah, like
Int 6.
like you fly up and down and look at all of the rungs and like, yeah, not only are they all split in the same place, but like there's no splinters. Like this looks like there was a seam. And yeah, like it's pretty obvious that this was intentional, that they did not just break. But you can't really figure out how to put it back together.
Yeah, I got nothing.
I mean, all right. I mean, I guess I'll just climb down this rope anyway. I'm not going to climb down the ladder.
Okay. So you had already tied it around yourself, but you're pulling up the end that you had thrown at Cedric.
Yes.
And tying it
Uh-huh.
around something.
Yeah, the large rock or Fletcher, whichever is larger and closer.
Well, seeing as how I have to be a willing participant in having a rope tied around me, I don't think that's happening.
Okay. So you're tying it around.
So
a
we
rock.
can move a
No,
rock
Kay
from the
lassos
slag
you.
pile to the opening and put a rope around it and drop it down. That way we have a big rock up at the top.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Okay. Give me a use rope check to tie a knot around this rock. How big a rock?
I was kind of hoping Nautia would come up and we'd find one that could span the opening, and she could help us carry it over so that it's like it can't go anywhere. Like if it's off to the side, it could shift and fall down. But if it's over the opening, it's not going anywhere.
So if it's over the opening, how are you getting down?
Well, I'm assuming. Well, it's in the hope that we'd find one that is not large in all dimensions, like long enough to fit across.
Oh.
So
Okay.
essentially, like if it's all sandstone, there could be long splinters of it that are almost like board of wood shaped, but is
Right.
stone,
Okay.
so that there is room to get next to it and down.
Gotcha. Okay.
I rolled a nat 20.
Wow.
Oh,
So 26.
Okay. Oh, you were highly motivated to tie a rope around this rock. I will say, like, because the rope has to go around the rock and also around you, and the hole is 50 feet, and also the rope is 50 feet, you're gonna be a little short of the actual bottom. But again, like, if you let yourself go from the rope...
Can I look at can I disable the device, but like dangling from the rope?
Dun, 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 dun. Sure. You can give that
Yes.
a go. Okay.
I'm gonna give it a go.
All right. So you just like, are you just sort of like, wah, jumping in the hole, or are you gonna like lower yourself?
I was gonna like lower myself.
Okay. So you do that. Where would you like to stop?
The rung that Cedric fell from, because we were all watching him as he. That's how I
and-
threw the rope down so
and
quick.
he's down there, so he can point it out to you. So yeah, you can take a look at that rung and see what you see.
A 14.
To disable the device.
Yeesh.
You see pretty much what Nautia saw. It looks like every one of these rungs is split in half smoothly with no splintering or whatever, but you can't find whatever mechanism caused this to happen. It is not familiar to you.
Sorry, Fletcher, you're gonna have to take the rope. And she like down.
All right, so are you like releasing yourself and basically jump falling the rest of the way down?
I mean, I'm gonna like down. I'm not gonna jump. I'm not as dumb as Cedric.
Well,
I'm
right,
gonna,
but I said
walk
like
to the bottom.
the rope is not going to reach
Oh.
all the way to the bottom. So the rope got you to about the 40-foot mark, but
Oh, I see.
you've got a bit more to go yet.
Yeah, I guess I'll try and do a superhero tumble.
Okay. Yeah, so you untie it from yourself and you can do a tumble check as you drop those 10 feet.
An 18?
Okay, yeah, you do that and you sort of like you land and do like a slight roll and sort of bump into Cedric, but you do not take any damage.
Ta-da!
Good job.
Thanks, friend.
Before Fletcher goes, I'll take the rope out of my pack and go tie it at the base of the other one so he doesn't have to jump.
Okay, so now you have a 100-foot rope, so there's a little extra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. And Fletcher, are you also going to make your way down?
Yeah, then I'll make my way down on the rope then, since Nautia did that. Otherwise, I was gonna just feather fall and jump. But now I'll take the rope.
All right.
Save that spell.
Yeah. So you make your way down the rope, and now, and I assume Nautia follows. Are you leaving the rope tied to the rock, or are you taking it with you?
But we'll have to get back out. And we have more rope, no?
Yeah, you do
How
have
about-
2 more lengths, I think.
I'll at least take my part. Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I was gonna say if you can just retie that again,
Mm-hmm.
then that should be fine.
Okay, so the situation...
Yeah, that's easy enough.
Maybe should we retie or untie
Like,
all the rope so we
I
have it
could
going through
get
the
the
mine
stuff from the
you
top.
could fly back up.
That's a good idea, right?
Mhm.
Like we might want to have all the rope that we have.
Yeah. Make it a little less obvious that someone's coming down here too, maybe.
Okay, so Nautia flies back up, unties the rope, so now you have all 4 lengths of rope again. Are you leaving the wooden door open, closed?
Yeah, I
there
can
a
close the door
rock
behind
there?
us if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's like next to it.
Yeah, the rock's next to the...
So-
Yeah. Okay.
Closing the door.
All right. So you
Yes.
retrieve your rope, you close the door, and you are now all standing. And it's low enough in here. It's not so much that Fletcher and Kay have to crawl or anything. But you've been in spaces like this before where you sort of have to like hunch. It's a little low, and Nautia, you can't really fly in here because it's they didn't whoever dug this did not make a spacious cavern for you to walk through. But you are now all standing at the base of this trapped ladder at the end of this tunnel that you can see at least 60 feet down with your dark vision. I don't know if Fletcher will choose to create illumination for himself, but
Oh yeah, lantern.
yeah, that is where we will leave all of you until next time. Yeah, so we have entered some sort of mysterious excavation under the desert. Thank you so much.
This is Cedric's territory.
Oh yeah.
Sounds
I'm gonna
like.
crush it.
He said it smelled like home. So yeah, this is where we will leave them until next time. Thank you so much to everyone who was hanging out with us tonight. It was a small crew, but we appreciate you being here as always.
As always.
As always, we will be back. Come on, calendar, you can do it.
June 13th.
On May 23rd.
Oh, May 23rd, right.
Yes, we'll be back on Sunday, May 23rd. That's the second to last Sunday of May. We'll be back with more Arda. We'll be underground yet again. Not a temple this time though. So.
Oh, spoilers. Not a temple, you guys.
I mean, it doesn't look like any of the other temples.
You
There
heard it
was
here
no
first.
dream, huh? You heard it here first. Not a temple.
It's a different kind of temple. This is Cedric's temple.
Cedric's
This is where
temple.
Cedric's going to shine.
Yeah,
You guys.
totally.
Get ready for
Huh.
mad mind facts. That's what I'm going to be spitting at y'all.
Be prepared, Cheryl.
Be prepared for interesting anecdotes about family,
Oh,
mine
ooh.
safety
wonderful.
rules.
Ooh.
Can't wait.
Oh man, all this advertising! I can't wait. It's good stuff.
Making
this
big
down.
promises.
Make up family members.
Why start doing it ahead of time now?
Oh, that's so adorable. You think I haven't done it ahead of time already? You think I've been making all those up on the spot? I have a plan, you guys.
Sure.
See, I'm laughing, except I know what I've done for my Andorian character over on
Exactly.
Constellation.
We all know what you've done. We play D&D.
Pages and pages.
Look up OSHA regulations.
That's dedication. That's what you guys come here for, though, is the totally immersive and very realistic story that we're telling.
Carefully considered, well thought out.
Yeah, down to the details of what kind of rock is in the mine.
Look
I
up
mean, you did it
kinds of
last time,
rock.
though, was the thing.
I did. Yeah. Oh, Sarah is making up family members for you in the chat. Way to go, Sarah.
Those are not canon, Sarah.
But Sid is a badger rancher. I'm a fan of that one.
I want to see a whole ranch full of badgers.
Right?
That would be amazing.
They are
American
underground.
or European? Because there's
That
a
is a
big
very good
difference.
question.
Honey badgers.
Or
Ooh.
honey badgers.
Cedric's family's not badass enough to farm honey badgers.
Smell, though.
Ooh,
That's
yeah.
true. Mustellas do stink a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah. But like people
So
farm
do dwarves.
People
You wouldn't
farm
even
mink.
notice.
Hey.
Yeah, people farm mink and they're mustellas and they smell. Anyway, we've gotten
But
really
not underground and enclosed spaces,
That's
right?
true. I don't think all of the dwarves live below ground all the time. It's a personal choice.
No, yeah, just the ones who really respect Moradin properly.
Gosh, okay. Anyway, if this is the kind of D&D you like, come back.
This is the high quality content you can look forward to in the next episode.
On May 23rd. Also, this is my brand new PC where I can play video games. So
Yay!
I'm gonna be figuring out if I can like play some video
Stream?
games for y'all on a stream at some point, you know, around my fieldwork schedule. So that's a thing. I am currently coordinating 2 one-shots, which will be coming up in the near future. One is already fully cast, whatever. And we're working on scheduling, so that'll be like May, June, sometime in here. And I'll tell you when the other one is cast, and you can look forward to that as well. But we'll have some new scientist special guests on for the one-shots, as well as some of your favorite reoccurring Nature Check cast members. I like to keep it a little bit familiar and have some people on the show who have played TTRPGs before, so we're not just a bunch of scientists who don't know what they're doing. Anyway, so you've got all that to look forward to. Thanks for hanging out with us, and I guess we will see you all later. Bye, friends.